Happy Monday. Welcome to the start of another week. It's Christmas week, and you join us for part 5 of our Rise and Fall, the Napoleon series. Hope you're keeping well. Hope your weekend was only grand as we explore all the things that are new in the sim. I had an eventful day today. I was busy doing things with stuff, and very good now. Do you know, I'm handy around the place. In actual fact, that's exactly what the missus said. You're handy around the place. Right. Let's not go there. But I hope you're all keeping well. Tonight, yes, we shall continue as we are trading the mud. We're trading the mud of Europe for the shifting sands of the Orient as Napoleon attempts to build an empire in the shadow of the pyramids. This is a story of some high-tech savants meeting ancient mysteries of a general who wanted to be a sultan, and the moment his world came crashing down. Because whilst Napoleon was dreaming of Alexander the Great, a certain Horatio Nelson was hunting him through the Mediterranean, and at the Battle of the Nile, Nelson would turn Napoleon's Egyptian dream into a desert prison. But this wasn't just a war of muskets and ships. You see, it was an intellectual conquest. Amidst the heat and the plague, Napoleon scholars would uncover the Rosetta Stone, a slab of black rock that would finally allow silent stones of Egypt to speak again after thousands of years. From the glory of the pyramids to the dark brutality of the Syrian retreat, tonight we fly into a chapter where Napoleon's genius was tested by the desert, the disease, and the iron will of the British Royal Navy. Tonight we're flying in the Cowes DA40NG, filled up and ready to go, as we're going to be starting off here near Alexandria, and our route is going to take us down over the Nile. We'll go over the place called Rosetta, where the stone got its name. It's a Latin word, and we're going to head down. We're going to head down on the west side of the Nile, over Cairo, down towards the Valley of the Kings, and then we come back up the. No, hang on. We're going to the east side, then we're going back out to the west side of the Nile. Follow me, it'll be grand. We're going to come back up to Cairo, check out the pyramids, and that is our plan for this evening. Very interesting, you see. I'm fascinated by the old Egyptians, a great bunch of lads, but in particular, when it came to the Rosetta Stone, I was fascinated to say, how did they actually figure out how to speak, or how, what were the Egyptians saying with all their strange pictures and all this sort of jazz? Well, that's where the Rosetta Stone comes from. The belief is, or the understanding is, it was crafted during the time of Ptolemy V, which is in around kind of 190 BC, 180 odd BC. And the name Ptolemy, for anyone who might be interested, you see, Ptolemy was one of Alexander the Great's closest generals, and he was given control of this region, Ptolemy, and then all the way down, all the different reigns and the Ptolemy reign, nearly 1,000 years later, right? One of the Ptolemies had two children, a boy and a girl, and the boy, of course, was made pharaoh at the time, and he was a child king, you see? And, his sister, of course, we now know in history as Cleopatra. So the name Ptolemy is quite important in the history of Egypt, but it's very kind of not so far back history, considering the age of the ancient Egyptians and the pyramids and all this sort of jazz. It's often said Cleopatra is closer to us than she actually is to the ancient Egyptians of Ramses and all the jazz. It's quite brilliantly brilliant, and it's going to be fascinating. But when Napoleon gets out here, you have to understand as well, back then it wasn't just all about, look at my army and look at the lands I have. It was all about culture, and we already know from last week, Napoleon in Italy taking back all the art and filling it up in his brand new museum, the gallery that he opened up in Paris, Napoleon's museum. Later then, we just know it today as the Louvre. Well, many artifacts were planned to go back there, and what better than Egypt? He wanted France to be the cultural capital of the world. So very, very interesting stuff. And what's even more interesting, on his conquests or on his campaigns, he brought these skilled people with him, savants, which in this case was almost 150 highly skilled archaeologists to unearth what was going to be seen. I think back in the day he was planning. There was an old Ottoman ruin, and the plan was, we'll just rebuild that and have it as a redoubt or a point of defence. And that's where they came across this Rosetta Stone. So it's very interesting, lads. Brilliant. And we're going to be doing it all now tonight in a wonderful aircraft and some beautiful flying. And we have Chase plane up and running as well. They gave it an update last night. And it was interesting reading the release notes because some of them... some of them mentioned about CTDs and crashes and all the sort of jazz. So, listen, we'll see how we get on, right? But anyway, you're all very welcome in. Did I tell you it's Christmas week? Brilliant! And Christmas Eve. If your name is Eve. But very exciting, friends. Very exciting indeed. So we shall ramble into the chat. Welcome everyone in. Then we're going to get ourselves up and running and head on out on tonight's flight. It's going to be gorgeous. General aviation, as I said, I'm in the Cowes DA40NG. XLS is probably a bit more crack, but we're going with the NG variant. And they just got an update as well, so check out where you bought them. Howling Crazy, I've been having CTD since I've installed Chase Plane. Ooh, Janie Mac. Yeah, there's a couple of issues. Let's, fingers crossed, everything works well tonight. Eamon 1973 is here. Happy Monday to you, my guy. Hope you're well. Fierce Wolf, looking fierce. And Wolfie, happy Monday. Vacuum is in the house. Apache, welcome in. CP 65, very happy Monday to you. Super Typhon is here. Sup? Cracker, welcome aboard. Retriever Neil, a very happy Monday. That's me, finished work until 2026. Brilliant news, man. Let me see. The Impossible Face is here, 10 in a row. I'm already losing track of days of the week and it's only Monday. Ah, brilliant. Welcome in, man. Martel is here, 98 Vulcan, good evening. APU Inspector, you're very welcome aboard. Toto, 24.95. Good to see you, man. Cyrus T, the man of teal. You're very welcome aboard, Cyrus. Happy Monday to you, buddy. Lear. Hello, Lear. Hand me hand. Lear, hope you're well, buddy. Spitfire RAF 100 is here in the chat. A very happy Monday to you, my guy. Hope all is well. Sumner is there. He says, howdy Murph, looking forward to tonight's lesson with a pint. Wouldn't that have been brilliant? Well, probably catastrophic, but wouldn't it have been brilliant in school if you can ramble in? You know, how are you, sir? Just having a, right? You'd be inclined to hang around a bit longer, do you know? Mac Vision, good evening. Viper Strike is in the house. Welcome aboard. Papa Justify, good evening. Crafty Tigers, happy Monday. Hermit Something. There's buttons being pressed. Hermit Something, very good afternoon to Boston. Hope you're well, buddy. Two Dogs is here. Greetings. AZ Blue Line, hope you're well. Shuffle Shoes. Shuffles in, Edge of H Man, hope you're well. Daddy Plump is here, Merry Christmas, and all of that. Yes. Norse Viking Gaming, happy Monday. Febro is here, hope you're doing well. Liptorius, a very happy Monday. Sunjammer is here. He says, hi all, I just had to do before the stream, play the full live version of Comfortable Numb on my Strat. Watching Murph, I sometimes feel that way. Enjoy and well done, and send us a recording. You're right, Krabby One, good to see you. Gar Gaming, hello to all in County Galway, hope all is well. Up the road to you is Creo, wishing all a happy Christmas. Hello to everyone in County Mayo. Photos by Kev is here. Come on yourself, Kev. 25 months, man. Thank you very, very much indeed. Good to see you, buddy. Commander Balosh, a very happy Monday to you, sir. Hope all is well. Cy120 is here. Happy Christmas, buddy. Robert J56, welcome aboard. Sim Guy, good evening. Where is this now? Did you break anything else? I did. Well, no. Well, hang on. So remember I told you the story of the picture, right? The canvas. And I shagged the wall, right? So I asked my dad this morning, I said, you wouldn't give us a hand here. Just want to, am I doing this right? You know? Yeah, no bother, he says. So my dad came in, he made absolute of the wall, right? Worse than I did. So we drilled it instead. Yes, but it was a huge upgrade. We now have more pictures to look at. So it wasn't me, it's the walls. It's the house, right? Audley House. Murph Manor is Audley House. But yes, all is well, though, in the realm. Where are we at now? Flying Trits, a very good evening to you. Hope you're well. Now, let me see. Roger Abram. Hello, Roger. Welcome in. Heisenberg is in the house. How did the Saturday shopping go? Oh, brilliant. I bought a lamp. I love lamp. I bought a lamp. I got home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or just after, about 10 past 4, right? And I decided to put together the lamp. Then I realised it was missing parts. So I had to drive all the way back to Limerick, back to here, which is a 2-hour and 5-minute round trip. Only to realise that after I assembled the lamp and I sat down on the couch, I found a package, a mysterious package, sitting on top of the mantelpiece. It was the missing parts I didn't lose. All sorts of new words were invented. Yes, I wasn't happy about it, but I'll get over it. Goblin Zeus, good evening. Hope you're well. Willow, how much? Good evening. He says, to all those of you who call yourselves pilots, then we saw Murph attempt to fly and break things. Yeah, that works. News fan bursts in the door with a Christmas jumper. He says, how he is, his mad jokes, his happy Monday. Good to see you, Muse. Hope you're well. Idle Cut Off is here. Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. Currently 6 degrees. It's to be between 5 and 9 degrees today and tomorrow. On Wednesday, it's to be between -1 and +7. And the same on Christmas Day. It's going to be cold, lads. It's going to be cold. Max Stallion, welcome in. P.S. Mirandi, Prime subscription, 31 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, buddy. Great to see you. PQ, good evening. Captain Cocktail, hello from Las Vegas. You're very welcome in, buddy. Happy Christmas to you. Is he related to Biggest? No, he's not. Chris Van Halen, good to see you. Lear. Right. I was going to request that you play Rosetta Stoned by Tool, but yeah, it's probably not suitable for a family-friendly channel. Oh, Jesus. Does it have anything to do with the actual Rosetta Stone now, Muse? You know, for the historical context. Yeah, Murph, they talk all about the French and the Egyptians. Oh, do they? Old Veteran 965. Scott, a very good evening to you. Happy Monday. Before the discovery of the stone, we only knew how to walk like an Egyptian, says Martel. Yes. Crafty Tiger says, Murph could totally rock the Napoleon hat. Thank you. Yes. Zang. Let me see. We're over here, look. Late again, Fire 10. Good to see you. Strap 21. Hola. Mr. Tommy. Well, hello. Good to see you, man. Love your work. You're looking well. You're very welcome in. Let me see here now. If only if you were ready for Christmas. No, I am. Well, I say I'm ready. You'd have the presents got, you see. Yes. And, brilliant. You know, I put new lights in my kitchen under the cabinets. I used LED lights. I may have put... Well, listen, right, you can't see it. It's up under the... They look lovely. Yeah, they're brilliant. But I'll have to fix it again in January. But anyway, Howling Crazy. Hope you're well, buddy. Energizer is here. Evening all. And there was a new chase plane just earlier today too that fixed the Toby stuff. Ooh, nice. Malky Mac is here. Very good evening to you, Malky. Hope you're well. Lunar Howl, welcome aboard. Who else is here now? Brillar Gaming. Good to see you, man. Long time no see. Hope you're keeping well. Last chase plane update cleared a few CGD issues. Oh, brilliant. Chases the noise. That scared me. Let me see. I'm catching up. No, I'm lost. Quokka is here. Welcome in. Mr. Pauly, a very good evening to you. Hope all is well. Captain Cocktail, Tier 3 for 3 months in advance. Look, that's optimism. Thank you very, very much indeed, buddy. It's insane support, man. Thank you very, very much. Kev updated his motion rig from 10 to 12-bit resolution and is now trying to kill me. The machines are out to get you, Kev. One Fly Air, hope you're well. Very welcome in. Eddie is here, good evening. Piper's in the house. G Slayer. Well, Jesus. G Slayer, welcome in. What's going on tonight? It's the Christmas spirit and all that. Well, we're doing a Christmas stream tomorrow night, you know. We're going to New Zealand, which is terribly Christmassy. There's buttons here, lads. Jesus. Oh, there's things. Let's see here now. Trippy is here, good to see you. Buttons, Murph, you can do it. Martel, thank you very much for 52 months. That's an absolute ledge. Look at that, a level 5 hype train. Nuts, I tell you. The pictures hide all the holes. Don't they do? They really do. Never change the pictures. No. And if we ever sell the house, whoever's buying it, it's like... Right. Yeah, it's a very holy house. What? Yeah, it's a very holy house. Yeah, holy house. Really? Oh, yeah, terribly holy. Mac Vision, yes, indeed. Just Roy is here. He says, I am only here to wish you and Murph in the chat a very happy Christmas. I'm heading to Amsterdam to meet the family. Enjoy your flight. Roy, thank you very much indeed. Many happy returns to you, bud. And Jesus. What an absolute legend. Roy, enjoy. Locust, good evening. Musefan says it actually does it? Retriever Neil, yeah, so Chris Rea, driving home for Christmas. He passed away today. He was only 74. You know, it was a short illness, I believe. But yeah, it's sad, absolutely. He had other songs, of course, but most famous for Driving Home for Christmas. Do you know? But if you're Irish, we have a terrible dark sense of humour. Well, I say that collectively, right? Some of the... Jesus, you know. But anyway, sad day indeed. Jesus, there's more happening. The whole place shakes. You're not that family friendly compared to Forder, to be fair. You swear like once a week. Forder never does. What are you talking about? I'm very family friendly, I'll have you know. Right? Yeah. It's like PG. I don't know how the ratings work anymore, but like it is family friendly. I mean, I could be here. I'm Irish, right? Anyone who's met me in the real world in person, every second word is literally, right? Come here. At that time today. Right. Do you know, so I did family friendly. Yes, very family friendly. But yes, probably not as much as Forder. In fact, yes, I agree wholeheartedly. Absolutely. Brilliant. Right. Jesus, 77 degrees Fahrenheit, Piper says, in Phoenix. Ooh. Devil Fly is here, howdy. See you later. Thank you very much for 50 months. Thank you very much, dude. You absolute ledge. Lieutenant Bob is in the house. Welcome in. Photos by Kev then jumped in with 10 gifted tier 1 subs to the community here on Twitch. Kev, you absolute legend. Thank you very, very much indeed. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub with thanks to Photos by Kev, well, do be sure to say thank you. Insane generosity from Photos by Kev. And then he did a resub himself. He did, look, mad devil. Legendary stuff indeed. Dr. Diggler, good evening. Weird, that was 11 subs for 10. Right? Brilliant. Eddie then jumps in and he gives 5 gifted tier 1 subs to the community because he's a legend. Eddie, thank you very much. And lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Eddie, do be sure to say thank you because the man is also a legend. DK Funfly, welcome aboard. Let me see here now. Heapster, yes, welcome in. North Coast Mike, good evening. It has been a sad week. It has. Kev Kira, good to see you. A very good evening, Heapster, and to you. The Irish invented cursing. We did. We got bored one day and we just put words together, right? Check out the pic of the Bremen bar. I'll have to do that now in a second. Crafty Tigers. Murphy was just talking in Morse code. Yeah, if anyone, right, I can speak fluent Morse code. Listen. Right, brilliant. Anyway, Jesus, there's more. Wait now, we're all at the wrong airport. This isn't HEAX, at least not in the real world. I agree with you. Yes, it is. A balls up was made. So you put it into the sim and it puts us up here. We're actually technically at NOZ, which is the VOR. But sure, listen, it's grand, right? It's grand. We'll get over it. Stroger is not here. Welcome in, but you're not here. Mutley, good evening. Restoring 226, thank you very much indeed. 55 months. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. Riot, hang on there now. There's more. Northland Air. Very good evening to you. Hope all is well. Uniform Goose. Good day, Goose. Welcome in. Aviation 1001. Hello. Kubi Montana. Happy Monday. Dub Dials is here. Welcome in, Dubs. Dave Cleary. Legend, Dave. Welcome back, Dave. Good to see you, bud. Stevie B is here from the sunny Tenerife in the Canary Islands. Welcome aboard. Visualize, good evening. Kieran Nile is here. Sky Camry, good to see you. Jessica, you're very welcome in. Mertz is in the house. Let me see now. Jim Ghost, welcome in, Jim. Black Sheep Jean, it's a long way to Tipperary. No, stop reading it and sing it. It's a long way to Tipperary. Do you know the meaning of that song, Jean? I'll tell you when you're older. But thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Cheers, buddy. Murph, why did the Rosetta Stone get promoted? Because it was great at translating between management, engineering, and everyone else. Very good, Jim. Let me see now. Brian Payne is here. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Now, let me see. Robert, where's this now? Please get off YouTube for your shows. Huh? Please get off YouTube for your shows. Wait, hang on. What are you talking about? Me shows? What? Kieran Nile, thank you very much indeed for your super chat. Good to see you, Kieran. Hope you're well. Mr. Klinger, good evening. Jace Ward is in the house. User, sup? Hope all is well. Mav Wings, 777, a very good evening to you. Hope you're keeping well. What's this button now? Faku, good evening. Hope all is well, buddy. The buttons and things. Oh, shoot, look at that. Lads, thank you very much. Level 6 Hype Train is very kind. Now, let me see. There's buttons all over the shop. Have a good weekend or a good week. You too, Faku. Have an awesome week, buddy. Have an awesome week. Right, hang on. I need to press buttons. We'll do this, yes, and do one of them. Yes. And welcome to the Cows DA40N. G, based on the diamond. Diamonds off forever. Brilliant. Local Aviator, a very good evening to you. Hope all is well. Now, let's have a look here now. Who's this one? Yes. Right, now, I had to press buttons because I've loads of notes. But anyway, shall we get started? Because we have things to do this evening. It's quite a busy one. Any news from Mose? No. So some people have been getting emails as an update. The orders that I sent through, the response I got was, let me check and we'll try and get updates pushed out. So all the order numbers that I got, Mose have them and, knock on the door, lads, can we please kind of grab it? get the updates. So hopefully they'll push them out there. I confused my retirement placement for my credit card balance. I almost had a heart attack. Oh, Jesus. Frank, good to see you, buddy. Jace Ward had a second CTD. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I can't even get a credit card because I never have anything on hire purchase, so my rating is crap. Ooh. There's a joke for you. Finish reading a book called Fear of Sunlight by Gladys Knight. Briggsy, you're very welcome in. Right, so machine here, lads. Yes. We'll all kind of do our thing with the yoke here now. And where's this now? We'll bring up Navigraph, right? And according to the sim, HEAX isn't actually down the road, it's actually up here. So there's a bit of head-scratching tomfoolery. We're starting here at NOZ, which is the real world VOR, but the sim thinks it's HEA. Yeah, we'll just go with it. But anyway, we're going to fly up to Rosetta, which is this little area here. Look, Rosetta. And from Rosetta, we're going to head down the River Nile, and we just kind of ramble along. And then we're going to head out to Cairo International, right? A couple of airports in and around over the city, and New Cairo, right? Then we're going to head further south, and we're going to head down to the Valley of the Kings, because down here, lads, there's another pyramid, right? But we're going to ramble in this neck of the woods, the Valley of the Kings, right? And then from there, we come back up. 6th of October. Does anyone actually know the meaning of this? It's known as October as well. But effectively what it looks like, it's a brand new district in Cairo. Now, it's interesting, right? Where we're traveling to tonight, Alexandria, where we are, this was once the absolute jewel in the crown of the Mediterranean, second only to Rome, right? Back in the ancient world. And of course, when Napoleon got down here, it wasn't all that at all. Alexandria just wasn't what it was. Cairo became the main city down here, which is interesting. But today, in the real world, Cairo is under savage pressure from its population. Too many people, right? And it's just sprawling. So, and there's all sorts of concerns and worries, and even with the Nile as well. They fighting over water and all this jazz. It's a real concern. It's a real thing. So we're going to be flying over some interesting parts of the world on our journey tonight. But it will be very pretty. I can promise you that, because it's going to be very much desert, and then all of a sudden very fertile lands. And then, of course, we look at these ancient wonders of the pyramids, you see. So it's going to be fun. So we'll put Navigraph over here for the moment, and we'll go back into that at the moment. Now, I am using live time. Obviously, I'm not using live weather. So if we go into our sim settings, right? Let's have a quick look. So local time, I have it set to 1440. All right. John says 6th of October is Egypt's Armed Forces Day, but they named a whole area after it. We'll need to check it out. Interesting reading for sure. And also welcome in. The Valley of the Kings is further south. Is it? Is it? Where are we going? Hang on. Whoa, now. Oh, wait, hang on. Are we heading down to a pyramid? Is it called like the middle pyramid? Is the Valley of the Kings down by Luxor? Or Luxor? Oh, it is. Right, we probably won't make the Valley of the Kings tonight. That's down by Luxor, but it's fine, right? You know, we'll see it from postcards. Why was I planning that? Oh, it could have been for a different aircraft. Yeah, it's probably a different aircraft. Right, we won't get down to the Valley of the Kings. Sorry, lads, the whole thing is cancelled. We're not going to the Valley of the Kings. If you were looking forward to it, you'll have to wait till next year. We're not allowed to go this year. Balls. Right, so it's not the Valley at all. It's another pyramid. What's the name of the pyramid we're going to down here? Because there is another pyramid down here. Where is it? There is it. There it is. Now, what's the name of it? What's the name of it? I think it's just called Middle. It's your fault for flying a slow plane. Planning is a strong suit. Yeah, right. Brillar Game is getting a Thrustmaster TCA Captain Pack Airbus. Ooh, nice. There's no refunds, no. Back to trim we go. Back to trim. And sure, listen, it was a great night, lads. I want to thank you all indeed for tuning in. And well, we'll see you tomorrow when I actually do a proper flight plan. And from there, I'll figure it all out. So thanks very much now. And well, good luck to you.
Can I get a refund?
Do you know, imagine if it did do that though. Like, I mean, you wouldn't be like surprised at all. You would have been like, he's such an idiot, put him back to work, you know. Right, anyway, the whole plan has changed, but we're still in Egypt and we're still in the aircraft and we're still going to learn about Napoleon, right? So if there's any more noise coming from the back seat, I'm going to turn this thing around and go straight home.
Of this guy.
Right. Keith Lafford, good to see you. Grand. Let's not worry about things. You almost left the stream. In Egypt. Yes, Malky, that'll work. Right, close the door, will you? Letting all the heat in. Right. Now, hello, DA40. And, well, as I said, we're using Chase plane. Oh, yeah. Who's in the A320, by the way? Fibro, are you actually in an A320, or do I need to cycle the multiplayer? Let me cycle multiplayer. Because this thing sometimes is just absolutely taking the Dennis Hickey, isn't it? Let me see, multiplayer off and multiplayer on. Give it a second to see what happens. A VL3, yeah. Are we done? We're not keen, don't worry. We'll fire up here now in a moment. Right, showing us a 717. Model matching is just brilliant, you know. But anyway, let us start. We're on the ground and cold and dark is the aircraft. So let's see what we can do with this machine to get some power. So we're going to go with the electrical master. Put some power into this machine. Are you sure we're not in Egypt? And not in Egypt. I'm in Egypt. It's all right, though. That's a 319. Yes, we know. It's not supposed to be, though. Are we flying over the new capital of Egypt in New Cairo? Yes, I think so. Yes. Circuit breakers are all in. It's still coming up as a 319. Interesting. Thanks for that. Wished you. So let me see. That's all good. Parking brake is set to on. Cabby 1. Hello. I mean, not intimidating at all, is he? Stand back from me, prop. You'll get a turn. You'll be flying mince. Stand back, I say. Right. What am I doing? Bit of lightage. Get some lights on to warn them we're doing a thing with a yoke. And let me see here now. Fuel pumps. Transfer is working, but we don't need it. That's all okay. Avionics, leave it alone. And we'll go for now. Oh, Jesus. We'll go for now. Start. Are we ready? ECUs are set to auto. And let's go for start. Clear prop. That didn't want to work. Clear prop. Alright. Good, starting this machine. Hey, avionics coming on. Probably not going to need the pedo, but we'll throw it on anyway. Fuel pump.
System test, okay.
TOS system test, okay. Right, now let's see if we can do this the old way. So, we're going to go into Navigraph. Where are you, Navigraph? Oh, there you are. And let's see, can we transfer this into our avion? Oh, Jesus, the stutters. Calm down, computer. Right. Jefferson VF4, yeah, thanks. Let me see. Unload. Here's this flight plan. Export. And let's see, can we load it into the sim? Okay, it loaded. It just made all sorts of sound effects. Don't panic. Right. Okay, let's see what happens now. Faro and direction, that's all okay. Taxi lights coming on. 777 Emu fan. Welcome in, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Tier 3 for 16 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. Hope you're well. What do you want to do? Brakes off? And just watch a bit of power here as we shall taxi forward. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, it's so strange with the nav aids not working correctly, isn't it? Very strange. Should be alright. Now, if it goes straight ahead and then left, there's a runway right ahead of us. There's Night Fury in an ATR with the Avatar sitting on the, on the top of the plane. That's the best ever. That is absolutely brilliant. He's like the best seat in the house. It's ridiculous. Model matching. Take a bow. Alright, oil temp and coolant temp on the low side, but they're going to warm up. And we'll see how we get on here, ladies and gentlemen. So, oh, Nighthawk in the... what's the name of that machine? It's the Cessna. I want an avatar on top of my aircraft, yeah, instead of Reigns. Like Tom Cruise. Nuts, isn't it? Sky Courier, that's the one. Gene, he sang. Now if I can get Murphy to speak Gaelic to close out the stream, I'll make a proper Irishman out of him. Is big Falterod August Glorev Mila Mahakot Tar Ta Me Dola Kula August Bijani then. Is this a taxiway or a runway? This is a taxiway. He'll fail. The Cessna Corvallis. Ah. A Sobo's idea for LOD. Yeah. Did I just get a failure? No. Oh, I did! Tommy, did I get a failure because I've had the pitot heater on for too long and it wasn't needed? How do I fix that now? You can't, Murphy. You've shagged it completely. Have I? Have I genuinely shagged the pitot heater? Let it cool. You wait. Wait, this is supposed to be... Oh no, it's not. We're holding short for runway now. Right, brilliant. Right, light them all up. Jesus, we have to be careful. There's consequence to flying. August on Conkamilish. Mar Letteris in Yay. Yeah. Your snake is getting nervous in the terranium. And I don't even have a snake. Uh-oh. Listen. Should be grand. BF4, yes. We're going that way. That's accurate. Ourselves lined up, yeah. We do have fancy, whatchamacallit. Jesus. We do have fancy camera views, look. Ooh. And, you know, and oh. With a bit of, right, brilliant. All right, so let me see. Autopilot. Put me on the runway heading. And we shall also like to climb to about 3,000 feet. We shall flight directorate, vertical speed up to about 1,000. And let's see what happens. Are we ready, sports fans? Let's go flying. So, power coming in. Up the hill. Jacob power set. 50 knots. There be 60. Oh, we can go 100%. What am I saying? But only for like 30 seconds or something, Tommy, isn't it? Oopsie daisy. So we're allowed full power for 5 minutes at 100%. Get up the hill. Flaps in. Yep, you get your double. Nice climb out. So this is Alexandria, the ancient city of Alexandria. And it's all default, unfortunately, but sure, look it. Now, what's pretty cool about Alexandria, they're still finding stuff from Alexander, and Napoleon for that matter as well. 100%, yeah, that's nuts. It's not chase plane. It is 777. It absolutely is. Are you ready? Brilliant. It's a flyby. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, so let me see. We're pretty much on the runway heading-ish, kind of, sort of. Let's go heading mode. We're going to activate the autopilot, and we're going to say heading. Our V speed should come up now as we climb up to 3,000 feet. Maybe call it 700. And we're going to head kind of straight here, and then we'll start turning around to the right-hand side. But while we're doing that, friends, you see, if you are on the Xbox, do press 1. PC Pilots, press number 2. If you're using JoinFS or Skynet, it's number 3. And if you think my flight planning is every bit as terrible as me hair, press number 4. Hello, Fireflies. Welcome to the Flying Circus. We live stream. Stop pressing 4. We live stream Monday to Friday, 2000 Zulu time, right here. All right. We got 25 in the PC, 3 on console, 169 passengers, plus a Murph. Thank you, Kane. Legendary stuff. Right, we're doing okay here, but not going the right way. So we're going to turn right a bit. Yes. And we're going to pick up our magenta line as we overfly the ancient city of Alexandria. Beautiful, isn't it? And it's all kind of default scenery, right? But it gives you an idea of the scale. It's quite large. It's massive, right? But nothing in comparison to where we're headed, which of course is Cairo. All right. So let's see what we can do here. We're going to arm our nav mode, and we're going to keep flying until we pick it up. All right. So with that, we have our informations. Where are you? For tonight. So now we learn and do things with stuff. So what's our power set? 92. That's okay. We can go external for some of these because it just looks gorgeous. And this is the beauty of Chase Plane. We now have really nice views. So this is part 5 of our Napoleon series and the Sands of Ambition, the Egyptian chapter. This is all going to be covering the imagination, the empire, and of course the limits of genius. There is no more romantic, no more dangerous phase of Napoleon Bonaparte's career than his exhibition to Egypt. He would later tell the world that imagination rules the world, and here, more than anywhere else, imagination took the reins. Napoleon was at heart a practical man. He calculated, he planned, he obsessed over detail down to the inch and down to the hour. But he was also a child of the Mediterranean. Impulsive, theatrical, and intoxicated by history. Egypt was where those two halves collided, the engineer and the dreamer, the general and the would-be world maker. By the end of 1797, Napoleon Bonaparte was only 28 years old. He was already too powerful for the French government that claimed to command him. Italy had made him famous, Italy had made him rich, and Italy had made him very, very dangerous. The Directory, the French government, feared him, and fear, in revolutionary France, always searched for a solution that looked like opportunity. So Napoleon proposed one. He didn't just want a new campaign, he wanted to follow in the footsteps of Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. He spent months brooding over Herodotus and maps of the Levant, He believed Egypt was sleeping and that a modern, rational military dictatorship could awaken it. For the Directory, the plan was perfect. Let him go. Let him be occupied. Let him be far away. Preparation began in total secrecy. To mislead Britain, the Army of England paraded theoretically along the Channel coast to fake an invasion of London. Meanwhile, elite units were siphoned off to form a new force. The cost of the expedition, some 30 million francs, was paid not by France's empty treasury, but by plundering the Swiss and the Roman Republic. To fly us across the Mediterranean, yes, we are using that of the DA-40. And anyone who bought this, you might remember, you got a free upgrade to the XLS. Cows, of course, have been doing incredible stuff with aircraft, and we're now seeing them getting updates on updates for Sim Update 4. I think this was it just the NG? This had an issue, but to be fair, and Mr. Tommy is in the chat, worked all through the hours to get it up and running and fixed. So if anyone, for any reason, is having an issue with this aircraft, there is an update available over on Orbex. So we shall see, right? Let us know if you have a problem. So by May 1798, the scale was staggering. 13 ships of the line, 14 frigates, and nearly 400 transport vessels carrying some 35,000 soldiers. This was an intellectual invasion. Napoleon took with him 167 scholars, the savants. They were technical experts, archaeologists, botanists, sent not to merely conquer Egypt, but indeed to catalogue it. Napoleon himself was aboard L'Orient, a massive 120-gun warship, effectively a floating palace. He hated the sea, in fact was always chronically seasick, so he stayed below the decks reading Cook's Voyages and a library of some 287 volumes he had specially created. One night, pointing at the stars, he asked his aesthetic scientists, "You may talk as long as you please, gentlemen, but who made all that?" On the way, he stopped to seize Malta. The Knights of St. John, who had held the island for centuries, surrendered in just 3 days. Napoleon stayed for 6 days, long enough to dismantle the medieval government, seize the treasury's gold, and establish a modern administration before sailing on towards Alexandria. On July the 1st, 1798, Alexandria appeared on the horizon. The disembarkation was a nightmare. The sea was rough, and many men drowned before they even touched the sand. Now, you might remember from our stories from Julius Caesar and his, attempt to chase Pompey, Gnaeus Pompey the Great, or Gnaeus Pompey Magnus. He too, on the shores of Alexandria to ramble into Egypt, was meted, of course, with a far worse fate than Napoleon. So, where is this now? Alexandria fell after a brief, bloody skirmish, and Napoleon immediately issued proclamations printed in Arabic, brought on his own printing press, promising respect for Islam. Then began the march to Cairo. It was 60 miles of hell. No water, blistering 110 degrees heat. The soldiers' wool uniforms soon became torture devices. Some men even went blind from Egyptian, how do you pronounce this one? Ophthalmia? Basically a bacterial infection exaggerated by the glare and the sand. Morale was low that several officers, including some of Napoleon's top generals, openly contemplated mutiny. Then, through the haze, suddenly the pyramids appeared. Napoleon addressed his army with one of history's most resonant lines. "Soldiers, from the summits of these monuments, 40 centuries are looking down upon you." On the 21st of July, the Battle of the Pyramids began. The Mamluk cavalry, led by Murad Bey, was a relic of the Middle Ages. Brave, ornate, but utterly doomed. Napoleon formed his infantry into massive hollow squares, and when the Mamluks charged, they were met by a wall of bayonets and a devastating storm of grapeshot. The Mamluks were shattered, thousands driven off into the Nile to drown, and Cairo fell within just 3 weeks. With Cairo secure, the savants were then unleashed. They founded the Institute of Egypt, or Institute d'Egypte, and began the monumental task of documenting everything. Their work would eventually become the Description d'Egypte, a 24-volume masterpiece that launched the modern science of Egyptology. In July 1799, near the town of Rashid, or Rosetta, French engineers led by Lieutenant Pierre-François Bouchard, they were digging the foundations of Fort Julian. This was the old Ottoman fort, effectively. A shovel clanged against a solid piece of black granderite. It was that of the Rosetta Stone, containing the same decree in hieroglyphic, Demotic, and also ancient Greek. It would provide the key for Jean-Francois Champollion to decipher Egyptian writing 20 years later. Now, what's fascinating about this, or just to put things into a bit of context, right? What we have here in relation to what is the Rosetta Stone, what we understand today of Egyptian hieroglyphics, of, you know, how we were able to understand what all these pictures and all this sort of jazz actually meant, right? This is what they found. This here is the Rosetta Stone, right? And you'll see that it's part of it. They reckon the original was a lot bigger. And this was commissioned by King Ptolemy V in around 187 or whatever, right? Now, without this being found, we wouldn't have a bull's notion of what these hieroglyphics meant. The Rosetta Stone was a way of, like, a translator, an ancient translator that wrote the hieroglyphics. They wrote it in this old ancient text and then also in Greek. And it was one of those lieutenants with the savants who, oh, hey, that's Greek. Huh? That's Greek writing. He was able to copy it. Because you're dealing now, you know, 2,000 years later. 2,000 years later, and now this is being looked at possibly for the first time. And it's fascinating. Without this, we would know so little of all these strange pictures. What do they mean? Birds and dogs and weird lines, hieroglyphics, right? So it's quite outstanding to think that there was a way that Ptolemy V was preserving the ancient scrolls and texts of the ancient Egyptians, which today still fascinates us because it goes so far back into history. This civilization, expansive civilization, and the stories and the belief system of the afterlife, of the pharaohs, of the pyramids. You know, I'm not saying that it was alien or aliens, but it was aliens, right? So there's quite a bit to that. So as we're flying right now, we are approaching the town of Rosetta, right? And it's coming up here now, just over the brow of the plane. And it's kind of cool when you think about it. If this wasn't found, lads, we'd have so little understanding. And even when it came to the excavation of a lot of these sites, the hieroglyphics helped archaeologists because they were able to read and understand, and more importantly, they were able to identify who's who and what's what. Even to this day, a couple of weeks back, major findings have been made. One of them was in the last couple of years. They found a completely sealed off tomb, completely intact, not touched at all. And it turned out the person who was buried there, the typical Egyptian, right? They were mummified and they had all the things they needed to progress into the afterlife. Like, you're talking fascinating stuff. And it was here, at this location, back in 1798 or 1797, that Napoleon unearthed all of the mystery behind it. His soldiers were off digging. They were going to be rebuilding an Ottoman fort, right? Because technically during this time, Egypt was very much under the control of the Ottomans, but not really, right? It was in their territory, kind of technically, but yeah, you know. So fascinating stuff. So we're about to overfly. This here is where we are. If you look out the window, this is Rosetta. This is the area, right? because it was named after the place near it was found, right? Rosetta. Which is pretty much, we're still on the north coast here, right? Still on the north coast. Jay Winokur, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. Am I right in saying that they translated some of it by translating it through Greek? Correct and right, Keen, yes. In a box, man, good evening. Point of order, hieroglyphic isn't a thing. The language is hieroglyphic. And the runes are hieroglyphs. Wait, what? Grand Voicey. So the Irish invented the Rosetta Stone and hieroglyphs. Hieroglyphs, yes. Lawrence of Arabia, Lawrence of Arabia, a lot of this was here. David, thank you for the follow, welcome in. It is fascinating stuff, it absolutely is. Zybot, good evening, hope you're well, buddy. It's fascinating stuff, and to think, Jason, look, here we are now, this is what we're doing. We're flying over these regions, and it's just like mind-blowing stuff, you know, and then we can tie aviation into it. So what we're going to do now, our flight plan now, lads, is going to be flying us down over the River Nile. And the history of the Nile, of course, mainly from the Egyptians, but of course we learned it from Alexander the Great, we've learned it from Julius Caesar and the Romans, and of course then much later on from Napoleon. And it's you know, the giver of life, which was the Nile, right? You had this area that just made the lands of pretty much a desert, incredibly fertile, and they're still, as I say, finding stuff even along the Nile. They're finding these ancient water markers, and when I say ancient, you're talking 2,000, 3,000 years old. There were markers that, like, farmers or, you know, wandering nomads, if you like, but they were placing these markers to measure floodplains or the depth or height of the river. And they're still finding them to this day. They're scattered out all over the place. And even the shift, as we know, we learned in geography, rivers tend to move, they shift, right? Where the Nile would have been thousands of years ago, by using new satellite terrain, infrared, of course, heat and all this, all technologies that they have in imagery, they're able to go back and actually see, well, hang on a second, look, the Nile was actually over there back then, not over here. And by doing so, they send in archaeology teams, they're able to dig, and they're finding all sorts of crazy stuff, which is brilliant, you know. Where's this now? On that dig you're on about, they found a mummy covered in chocolate and nuts. Experts of the site identified the mummy as Pharaoh Rocher. Ah, Jesus, that's brilliant. Well done, Sunjammer. I've been fascinated by all this Egyptology stuff for a while. There was a documentary a while back where a modern body was mummified using ancient techniques. Very interesting watch. Yeah, very much so. David says, I'm new here, don't bite, but loving history. David, not at all, you are most welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, that's pretty good for Pharaoh Rocher. But it's fascinating, all the Egyptian side. And like, you know, you're going way back into history, talking of the pharaohs and, you know, their religious beliefs, the afterlife, the gods that they had, their worship of cats, right? And cows and all this sort of stuff. And it's funny, even like, you know, the musical, Andrew Lloyd Webber's Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, where they meet the king, right? They meet, and you know, in Memphis, the king. But he's a pharaoh, but of course he's done like Elvis Presley. Like it's you can see they playing it, but very, very good, very, very good. Ambassador with these dad jokes. Truly, you are spoiling us. Brilliant. Cows, yeah, they worshipped cows. Creator of world simulations. They worshipped you, Mr. Tommy. There's a picture of Mr. Tommy in his underpants in one of the right. Yeah, right. Brilliant. But anyway, we continue on, because it wasn't just all wow, brilliant and wonderful. Napoleon was here also for a reason. Napoleon was busy planning the Enlightened Sultan in Cairo. He was reforming the tax system, installing streetlights, but while he was dreaming of the East, a nightmare was sailing toward him. Enter Horatio Nelson, a man who was to the sea, Napoleon was to the land. Bold, aggressive, and possessing a tactical genius that bordered on the supernatural. For weeks, Nelson had hunted the French fleet across the Mediterranean like a wolf on a scent. Commander Balosh, thank you very much indeed for the gifted tier 1 sub. You ledge. Cheers, man. On August the 1st, 1798, Rear Admiral Horatio Nelson finally found the French fleet anchored in Aboukir Bay. Nelson didn't wait for morning. In a display of tactical brilliance, he drifted his ships between the French line and the shore. The French were caught in the crossfire. At around 10 p.m, the flagship L'Orient exploded, and the blast was so colossal that the fighting stopped for 10 minutes as burning debris rained down from the sky. Napoleon was now stranded. No fleet, no supply line, no escape. Egypt had become a gilded cage. Napoleon was like a shark. If he stopped swimming, he died. To preempt an Ottoman invasion, he marched 13,000 men into Syria in early 1799. But the enlightened reformer was disappearing. At Jaffa, the campaign turned dark. After the city surrendered, Napoleon found that some of the defenders were men he had paroled at El Arish, who had broken their word. In a fit of cold pragmatism, he ordered 3,000 prisoners taken to the beach and executed to save ammunition. Then came the bubonic plague. The army was rotting from within. At Acre, Napoleon met his match in Sir Sidney Smith and the Ottoman governor Gezer the Butcher. For 62 days, the French threw themselves at the walls, but they could not break through. As the French retreated, Napoleon reportedly suggested his own doctors give lethal doses of opium to his plague-stricken soldiers to prevent them from being tortured by the Ottomans. Now, in the context of, Egypt and also then into Syria, to understand this bubonic plague, it was a devastating bacterial infection caused by the bacterium, what was it called? Yersinia pestis. Yersinia pestis, right? It was transmitted primarily on fleas and on rats. For Napoleon's army in 1799, it was a strategic and humanitarian nightmare that demonstrated the limits of genius when faced with the biological reality. The outbreak, the disease, hit the French forces during the siege of Jaffa and intensified as they moved towards Acre. It manifested as bubios, painful, swollen lymph nodes in the groin and armpits, followed by high fever, internal bleeding, and in most cases, a rapid, agonizing death. Napoleon's response? Just propaganda. To prevent a total collapse of morale, Napoleon famously visited the plague hospital at Jaffa. He was depicted in later paintings like Gross's Napoleon visiting the plague-stricken in Jaffa as some sort of like a Christ-like figure touching the sick to show he did not fear the disease. In reality, of course, he was terrified of the contagion, but knew that he had to project an image of invincibility. And there are a number of artworks with Napoleon looking all fancy and everything else, reaching out and trying to save people, but in reality, he was like, get it off me! Right. So, as the siege of Acre failed and the retreat began, I could be pronouncing that wrong, by the way. I thought it was Acre, A-C-R-E, but I was told it's Acre. But anyway, the siege failed, retreat began. The plague-stricken soldiers became a liability, which led to the controversial moment mentioned in the canvas where Napoleon allegedly discussed euthanizing his own infected troops with opium to prevent them from being captured and tortured by the Ottoman forces. The plague claimed thousands of French lives. Estimates suggest up to 2,000 deaths from the disease alone during the Syrian campaign, significantly weakening the army's combat effectiveness and also contributing to the eventual failure to seize the East. Right? So, returning to Cairo, this is now late 1799. Returning to Cairo, Napoleon won one last victory against an Ottoman landing force at Aboukir, right? But he knew the game was up. News reached him of French defeats in Europe and the chaos of the Directory, and on August 23rd, he did the unthinkable. He slipped away on the frigate Muron, leaving behind his army, his mistress, and his second-in-command, General Kleber, who was left with a letter of instructions and also massive debt. He abandoned 30,000 men in the desert to save his own career. In any other era, he would have been court-martialed for desertion, but Napoleon was a master of spin. He arrived in France before the news of the Syrian disaster did, portraying the expedition as a triumph of science and glory. The abandoned army would struggle on until 1801, eventually surrendering to the British. And it's important we mention that. The British took control, and by doing so, took most of the artifacts that were identified and discovered, if you like, by the French, including one Rosetta Stone, which now resides in the United Kingdom, as does a lot of other stuff. And this led to, a good bit later on, some 20 years later, a massive influx of British archaeologists who were able to go out. They were able to map entire areas in Egypt, in Cairo, dig the famous tombs, and we now know so much because of that, because of the work of the British archaeologists. But it's important to note that had the French been there, without the conflict, without the disease, without the Ottomans, well, perhaps the French would have been those who unearthed and provided us with all this historical context that, you know, we understand now today. So it's very, very interesting to think. But in the storyline that we covered, the Ottomans, even then, were still a extremely powerful empire. I mean, you know, they took Constantinople. They had vast land, vast, and you know, the Ottomans were always a threat to those in Europe. You'd often see kingdoms of Europe unite against the Ottomans. But in relation to the French, it was a little bit different, because what was happening in France from the Revolution was changing how world order actually worked. Most places in Europe were a monarchy. There was kingdoms. You had a king or a queen, or, you know what I mean? These dynasties would pretty much rule. What they saw in France was, well, they kicked out the kings. Out you divil you. The French Revolution, and it went absolutely nuts. And you had these now appointed positions of government, the Directorate being one of them. This isn't the first time history has done this. This happened in Rome. The Seven Kings, the story of Lucretia, and all of these things that eventually forced the Romans to kick the kings out, thus creating a republic, the Roman Republic. The Roman Republic, of course, was replaced by the Roman Empire. And then later on in life, it expanded, collapsed, split. Some going Byzantine, some going Holy Roman, the enemies of the time that were not really relevant, especially those of the Germanics, came back to haunt them, because, well, it was the Germanic tribes that kind of came in, the Goths and, the Vandals and all these sort of lads. They caused all sorts of consternation. So when you look at the strong empires of Napoleon's time, yes, the Austrians are there. Yes, of course, the British were there, and of course the Ottomans, and you had the Austrian, Hungarian, you had the Prussian, right? But the French were very, very strong, very strong. The strongest, I would think, in terms of empire back in those times, and this went on for nearly 100 years. The strongest naval empire the world had ever seen was, of course, the British Navy, right? It was just, they were the most technically advanced, the largest, the most disciplined. They were absolutely incredible on the seas. They had a lot of territories to hold up. They had a massive navy that sailed them straight into the Second World War. Even today, I think the British Navy is massive, right? So, very interesting. What do you mean my hands are cute? Shag off! But it's quite mad considering everything that we know of Egypt and the Egyptians, right? So if I have a look at this now, because where we're heading to, we're following the Nile, right? And this is where they went from Rosetta all the way down through the desert 40 to 50 degrees Celsius marching, right? In French woolen uniforms. Like, they weren't built for... Even changing uniforms, they weren't really adapted until much, much later on. Consider even, in the Second World War, the lack of thinking, the lack of understanding climate and environments when it came to sending troops into different areas. Even with the Irish, when the Irish went to the Congo back in the 50s and 60s, the Irish were like in heavy Irish uniforms. Like, these are designed to keep you warm on a cold day, and they sent them into Africa. It's amazing when you kind of see it. So the advantage is hugely for the likes of the Ottomans, but even the Mamluks, these guys who had ran for hundreds of years unchallenged in these regions, they were the official, unofficial, but yet official rulers of Egypt. They paid the Ottomans, thanks very much. It was almost like an oath of allegiance. And, there wouldn't be any serious messing. The Ottomans just said, yeah, go on, you can do that. But by and large, they ran the place. And then for Napoleon to get in there, and we mentioned that of St. John's, the guard at Malta, who had for hundreds of years, they kept everyone off that island. The sheer scale and strength of the French back then, it was unbelievably strong. Until, of course, it meets its adversary, that of the British. In particular, the British Navy, where you had these characters, and what was it? Nelson. I mean, you all know the story of Nelson, or we can certainly dive into Nelson at a later date. Fascinating characters and geniuses of warfare, pure genius, in his case, naval warfare. Very, very interesting stuff. So right now, I want to look at this. Pyramids. I want to look now at the map, because there's another pyramid down the road I think we're going to. Here's something cool looking as well, look. See these hieroglyphs? So, what they look like, if it was a pyramid, was it a pyramid tomb, a primeval mound, or a pyramidion? Isn't this fascinating? See these, like... And without, as I say, the Rosetta Stone, we wouldn't have a clue. We were like, yeah, it's a board and a couple of traffic cones, right? It's kind of mad, isn't it? But what I'm looking for here now, lads, right? The pyramid, is it of Djoser? No, medium. It's one of three constructed during the reign of Sneferu, and is believed to be where is this now? And is believed by some to have been started by the pharaoh's father and predecessor, Huni. However, the attribution is uncertain. So the pyramid at Meidum, that's where we're heading. That's the one we're going to see tonight as well, which is this one here. Look, that mad devil. We're going to have a look at that tonight. That's where we're flying down to. That I said it was the Valley of the Kings, but it's not the Valley of the Kings at all. Valley of the Kings is miles down the road. But of all the pyramids here in Egypt, and of course the Great Pyramids of Giza, the complex, right? It was also said then about the Sphinx, right? So we all know what the Sphinx is all about, right? We've learned all about the Sphinx, and if you haven't, we'll do reading on that as well, right? The Sphinx, it was rumoured, in fact, that Napoleon gave the order to his troops to shoot the nose off the Sphinx. And I think even in the trailer of the most recent movie, Napoleon, they have like grape shot going into that didn't happen at all. Napoleon actually had great respect for these artifacts and monuments. There's no, apart from like some, I don't know, was it Russian or Austrian, but like some tea set of Delft or something he smashed during negotiations. That seems to be really the only thing that he didn't go kind of messing. Kanzui, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. They look like modern aviation meteorology symbols. It's kind of mad, isn't it? Actually, everyone is showing as a fuga. Yeah, we've loads of fugas. And then we have an upside down person. Who's that now? Jesus, who's that upside down beside us? It's just Tom. Just Tom is just upside down. That's savage, isn't it? It was rare for Europeans not to break stuff. Yeah. Very rare. Very, very rare. Like, I mean, you know, even like Roman stuff. Well, the Romans are a little bit different, but it depends on what kind of general or what consul or what later on, what emperors. Some emperors were freaking nuts that broke everything, you know. But yeah, no, like from France's expeditions, what they did and how they do it. It was absolutely incredible. Whoa, Chewie, you're very welcome in, buddy. Welcome in, Raiders. Hope you're having a beautiful evening on this Christmas week. Hope you had a great stream, mate. You're very welcome in.
To introduce. Hello there. Allow myself
There's buttons everywhere. We're flying here in Egypt as we continue to learn about Napoleon, the rise and fall, and we were just chatting about the Rosetta Stone, which is now, of course, kept in the United Kingdom. But it's in the British Museum of Natural History, but it's in there, and we were looking at it, right? So the story with the Rosetta Stone, it was found by Napoleon's troops back in 1798, and well, prior to that, either you or your man is flying upside down. Oh, it's your man upside down. Yeah. Chewie, thank you so very much indeed. 32 months resub. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very, very much indeed. And where's this now? The I'm Famous Triumph or Infamous Triumph. Thank you very much indeed for the follow. Crispy, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Toby, thank you as well. And of course, Chewie, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you very, very much. And I hope you had a great stream. You're very welcome in. Are you all set for Christmas? It's only around the corner. I want to say I'm fully ready, but I'm not. But I'm nearly, right? I did me shopping at the weekend. But we're here in the Cows DA40 NG, and we've chase plane up and running, having great fun with this, and flyby modes, which I'm sure you were showing off there this evening as well. Look at this. Just Tom, I don't know how you do it, man. These skills. That's kind of mad looking. Forgive the short visit. Wrapping presents for kids must happen. Quick, go. Go! Jimmy, thank you very much indeed, buddy. Really appreciate the support. Hayden, good to see you. Hope all is well. 67 Airway, good evening. So, yeah, so the Rosetta Stone, found by Napoleon's troops, and the stone itself, which would have been ordered to be built from Ptolemy V. And as I was mentioning earlier on, the name Ptolemy, if you were to look at, I'll show you now, just to give you some context. Greek Empire at its height, right? And then the regions, Greek Empire regions. Because this is where the whole thing gets fascinating after Alexander. Because basically they broke it down into different territories, right? Different territories of control. See, where is this now? I'm just trying to find the right picture. Open that in a new image. And we'll open that as a new image. So to give you an idea, right, the Greek world, and the Greek world now, remember, this is some, 280 years before Julius Caesar, right? Rome at this stage, it was there, right? Rome was, 700 and odd, 1753. Rome is there, but it's not very big. Around this time, 334, they're probably in the what are they called? What were the wars? Jeez, that's terrible. I forget the name of the wars. The Romans were busy in either the first or the second war with the Venetian, or not, the Punic Wars. The Punic Wars, yes. But anyway, this is the empire of Alexander the Great, and he covered a massive area, right? But afterwards, it's not good enough. You can see the divisions. Where have we got this? Have we another one here? There we go. It's not great, but we'll open it in a new page to see. It's not great, but you can see, right? You'd have to see this Ptolemy. Seleucus, right? Lysimachus and all these. These were the main generals that were helping Alexander, and he you know, when he died, you're in charge. This is your area. I want you to control this. And he set up a dynasty within a dynasty. These are all kingdoms within one greater empire, and it ran that way long after him, long after, you know, the whole Greek empire kind of collapsed in on itself, and then of course the Romans going forward with it. But that's where we get the name Ptolemy, in terms of Pharaoh Ptolemy. And of course, like, I'm trying to remember, Cleopatra was like Ptolemy the something. Cleopatra's brother, Ptolemy the 14th or something. Ptolemy the 13th. Was it? Ptolemy the 13th. So just think of the time in what, 280 years? The Rosetta Stone, they reckon, was done by Ptolemy the 5th, which was around probably, you know, 270 odd or something, right? First Punic War was 264. Yeah, so even before the Punic Wars, at this stage, Rome was probably very much just focusing on, you know, some of the Italian areas, right? Wasn't big at all. But yeah, pretty cool. It's mad when you think about it. And like, that's the context of the areas in which we're flying, right? In which we're still following the Nile. But when we look at the Rosetta Stone, then, just fascinating stuff. Mesopotamia, that was Mesopotamia, was that? Yeah, that doesn't seem right either. Mesopotamia, oh no, that is right. Mesopotamia is right. Memphis, well, Memphis is a lot further down than that, I would say. Alexandria, Memphis, Gaza, right? Thing Wizard, good to see you. Linny Bobbins, good evening. Belbro is here, welcome aboard. Hope you're all keeping well, lads. It's fascinating stuff, like the whole Napoleon series. And Egypt, like, you come to a place like Egypt. I mean, so far on this series, we've seen Corsica, we've seen France, we've been now to Italy. We're now in Egypt. Next week, we're back in Paris. We're going to Spain. And we're even going to Russia. We're going into Moscow. So, like, when you look at even some of the areas in which he travelled to, and all the while, you know, all the art and architecture and all this stuff coming back from these exhibitions from Napoleon, well, they're all going into the one. They're all going into the one. So if we were to look at, you know, the Louvre, the museum, which is fascinating itself, because this was the idea. They were sending these all the way back to Paris. And another thing we have to understand about this expedition that Napoleon did, this made him unbelievably popular at home with the French. Unbelievably popular. Egypt absolutely captured the imagination of France, right? So what it means is, even to this day, if anyone were to go to Paris, you would see obelisks everywhere. They even built a glass pyramid, the Louvre pyramid, right? There's a fascination between France and Egypt, and that was all spurred on. It was all ignited by Napoleon, which is unbelievable when you consider things. That was such a draw back there, or back then, you know. So, what do we have here now? The museum opened on the 10th of August in 1793, right? Then the collection was increased under Napoleon. And after the Napoleonic looting of art in Europe, Egypt and Syria, the museum was renamed Musée Napoleon. Now, when Napoleon headed off, and we'll cover that at the end of our series, a lot of the works were taken back to the original owners. The collection was further increased during the reigns of Louis the 18th, Charles the 10th, and during the Second French Empire. The museum gained some 20,000 people. 20,000 pieces, rather, not people. And that's important as well. The Second French Empire, you do know there was more than one Napoleon Bonaparte, right? The Musée du Louvre contains about 500,000 objects. Has anyone here in the chat ever been to the Louvre? Ever get the chance to visit? And even below the ground, there is portions of the medieval castle that you can actually still see there today. You've been? Okay. So a good few people have been to the Louvre. It is amazing, right? Venus de Milo is there. All the different rooms, of course. Can anyone guess what its most famous guest is? Or its most famous exhibit might be? Got myself a nice diamond crown the last time I went, but shh. Yeah, there is a massive, large Egypt exhibit. There is. Anyone guess? He's getting there. I imagine here's some of the Egyptian antiquities. The department comprising over 50,000 pieces, including artifacts from Nile civilizations, which date from 4000 BC. The collection among the world's largest overviews Egyptian life, spanning ancient Egypt, the Middle Kingdom and the New Kingdom, Coptic art, and also Roman, Ptolemaic and Byzantine periods. The department's origins lie in the royal collection, but it was augmented by Napoleon's expedition trip with Dominique Vivant, the future director of the Louvre, and after Jean-François Champollion translated the Rosetta Stone, Charles X decreed that the Egyptian Antiquities department should be created. Champollion advised the purchase of 3 collections formed at the Edmé Antoine Durand, Henry Sald, and also the Bernardino Drovietti. And these editions added some 7,000 works. Growth continued via acquisitions by the Auguste Mariette, and founder of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. And Mariette, after excavations at Memphis, sent back crates of archaeological finds, including that of the seated scribe. Guarded by the Great Sphinx of Tanis, the collection is housed in more than 20 rooms. Holdings include art, papyrus scrolls, mummies, tools, clothing, jewellery, games, musical instruments and weapons. Pieces from the ancient period include the Gabal el Arak knife from 3400 BC, lads. Jesus, 3,400. Muse fan, that's nearly as old as you. That's mad. And look at it. Look at the design on it. Isn't that something? That's incredible. The seated scribe. Small handle for small hands. Yeah. The Great Sphinx of Tanis. Look at the design, lads. The detailing. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Fascinating stuff. Ancient sculpture. Now, these are interesting. The Near Eastern antiquities. Because these bring us back to a time very much lost. Exhibits from Sumer and the city of Akkad. The monuments such as the Prince of Lagash, from some 2,500 years BC, the Narmasin king of Akkad to celebrate victory, Babylonian laws. This is Babylonian art. Babylon. We've covered Babylon. We took way out of that, so you're probably around on the applied planning permission for the pyramids. A lot of this stuff from Babylon, there's so very little of it left, or at least so very little of it discovered because, well, it sits in quite turbulent areas, right? Very turbulent. Sarcophagus, isn't it mad? Like, they had such a mad belief system. And Assyrian, Jesus, Assyrian stuff. That goes back to like Gilgamesh and, right? Mad stuff. Venus de Milo, of course, yes, or Venus de Milo. This one here depicts that of the Actaeon's death. This would be Greek and Roman. I think this is Greek, though. Is it Greek? Greek. Whose horse is that? Whose horse? It is Greek. Yeah. The court Marley of the Louvre, the French sculptures. Look at that, lads. If you ever get the chance to visit the Louvre, it's very, very good. It's very, very good. Where is this now? Close. Second home, or the second Empire style rooms, the apartments of Napoleon the Third. Napoleon the Third. Were you aware there was more than one Napoleon? But of course, the most famous. I mean, look at that grandeur. Look at that. Like, that's like old veterans' front sitting room. I'm just saying, I've seen it. It looks just like it. Amazing. And of course, yes, the most famous resident, if you like, in the Louvre is that of the Mona Lisa, which was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. This very painting, would you believe, Napoleon had in his bedroom for a number of years. He hung it on his wall. He thought she was a babe, and lovely picture, Mona, he used to call her, you know. It's mad though. He genuinely did. Napoleon actually had that picture in his house, in his bedroom, for years. But then he brought it back. Savage, lads, isn't it? Very, very interesting stuff. But as we're flying now, we are over that of the ancient River Nile. And we are approaching Cairo. We're going to see it here now in the distance. If you have a quick look over. Misty weather's coming in. I got to say, it's looking absolutely gorgeous. This is so realistic looking as well. Especially as we you know, we're flying in towards all of this this mist. Of course, drawn by Leonardo DiCaprio. Yes. Isn't there another painting under the Mona Lisa? What do you mean? Everyone knows Mona Lisa, but no one seems to care about her husband. He's completely out of the picture. So he made the Mona Lisa and the Mad Dog. Leonardo. Very good, Mr. Flight Sim. Yes. The Mad Dog. Monaco Lisa, the ancient... Brilliant. It's very, very interesting stuff. So where we are here now, so there's power stations over here on the right-hand side. We're not particularly interested with those. We're going to be heading over kind of downtown Cairo, but it's actually very close to New Cairo, where we're heading to, in which we're going to pass it. And then it's heading down to the Meidum pyramid. And then it's back up to the other ones. Do you know? James Balding went on a cruise down the Nile. No way! Oh, that'd be so much fun. I'd love that. That's why we can't have nice things, right? Because you lot make silly jokes between Cian Lafford, Lear. Who else did I see there with something mad to say? Muse fan, you know. And Daddy Plump. What's Michael Jackson's favourite painting? The Shamona Lisa. Napoleon Bone. Oh, Jesus. You see, that's why we can't have nice things, because you lot don't behave yourselves. You know what I'm saying? You're all supposed to be respectful and, yes, Murph, well done, what you're learning, and, you know. You just have to have, you know, a great bunch of lads. Have to make fun at everything. Let's keep things serious. Super serial. For our viewers on YouTube, you need to come to Twitch for a minute. Serious as a Euro tune over Egypt. Yes. I mean, can we just appreciate the absolute beauty of this airplane crafted by cows? It's an absolute gorgeous machine. Mark Aiming, thank you for the super chat. He says, my daughter drove the boat down the Nile on her 7th birthday. We was going to the Valley of the Kings. Amazing place to go. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Look at all the buildings beneath us now, lads, as we're overflying Cairo.
Hello there.
Clappy, welcome in. On Muse. Clappy, hope you can hear the tunage, man. Here we go again with the music. You better believe it. Now, what was Scott saying? You know, you need to play the Steve Martin song on Like an Egyptian. What was that? Walk like a drunk man coming home from the pub on Christmas weekend. Yeah, yeah. It's still Cairo. Yeah, it's massive, lads, isn't it? It is huge. So we do have an airport right ahead. We're going to plan to land here. It's brutal autopilot off. Brutal visibility. We'll give it a shot. Hecka is the ICAO code. Hotel Echo Charlie Alpha. And we shall attempt to land, y'all. Watch your speed. Man, look at this with the mist. Isn't it mad? It's almost... Is it mist or is it like a sandstorm? It's... Right? Or maybe it's pollution. You just wouldn't know. You just wouldn't know. Shrink rate. Easy now. Haze, smog and sand, all of the above. Just Tom seems to be having an absolute barrel of laughs. Alright, watch your speed coming in here. We'll try a bit of a slip to help us in. There we go. Speed coming down nicely. We'll go the first notch of flaps. Wait till we get in the white arc to deploy any more. There we go. Oh, King Tut. Ah, yes, yes. All right. Easy, does it?
500. Shrink rate.
So this airport, we have a couple of options because there's a military airport on one side and then a civilian one on the far side. Looks like I've opted for the military one. Be grand. That's what a missed approach looks like. Very good, Thing Wizard. Alright, 05 left. Easy now. Hold the nose. Watch the flare. Touchdown. Alright. First stop of the night done. Easy now, Jemima. Oh, easy now. All right. Quick exit over here to the right-hand side. What about two blinder flights? Do you guys, would you fly much into, would you fly often, sorry, over to Egypt? I remember Chewie actually, in one of his first streams for Flight Sim 24, he did fly to, well, I don't think he flew an airliner to Egypt, but I remember him flying around Egypt and checking out the pyramids, and it was absolutely class. Right, we'll do a quick UE here. Fuel quantity, left tank, we should go on to the right tank now. Uh-oh. Oh wait, hang on, we need to, isn't that how this one works? We got to transfer. Fuel pump on. So we're going to transfer from the right into the left, I think. Yes, interesting. Stu Snape, good to see you, late and prayed, but I got all my Christmas food and drink shopping done. Ah, brilliant. I flew with the kids, teaching them about the pyramids. It's awesome. And I've ended up in the rocks. Oops. It is quite incredible though, lads, when you consider it, right? You know, we're able to, you know, ordinarily perhaps you wouldn't get the chance to visit these places in the real world, right? For a multitude of reasons. But here we are in the sim, and we can all ramble to these places together, learn about them, have the crack, you know. I love this, man. This is incredible. There was no music. No, there's no music. Test pilot, good to see it. Muse had a whole load of stutters coming in. No way, man. Jesus, who's this coming in? Ryder, looking good. Continue approach. That looks like a 7.3, doesn't it? It is a 7.3. Yup. I think they're worse than 24. It's the only thing I find worse. Stutters at the airport. Interesting. Muse, did you grab that plug-in from flightsim.to that removes the ground equipment at airports? You know, like the pushback carts and all this? Imagine what Napoleon to make of this. Absolutely. Right. Lucky Bow, 4 feet of snow, 30 below. What? No, Muse, it doesn't matter if you turn them off in the sim or not. When you load in, you probably still have like a pushback or ground cart. Yeah? I'm telling you. Use that little thing from flightsim.to. Since I've put that in there, I've had like almost no stutters. It's weird. So was Napoleon's plan to take over all of Europe? To an extent. Napoleon kind of followed where there was a fight. To say he was a warmonger, but he seemed to be at his happiest in life when he was at war. He was very successful at war, you know, and he was rarely on the losing side. Rarely. Wait, I was supposed to check the Bremen bar for something. Hold fire. Where's my Discord? Discord? The Flying Moose, good to see you, buddy. We are on the Southeast Asian server. Now, hang on. Someone gave me a ping on Discord in the Bremen bar. Dude. Ah, Jesus. Captain Cocktail! That's a dreadful picture of me, though, isn't it? Ah, Jesus! Do I look like that? That's terrible. Oh, my Lord. You missed the wig. Nace, check off. Do you not know how hot it gets in here? That's terrible. It's actually brilliant. That needs to be a profile picture. That absolutely has to be one. Murph is like one of those headset guides you pop on during a nature walk to learn about the surrounding environment. That Murph must be 100% bald. What are you talking about? Make it an emote. It looks like a face of a man that would have a picture of the Mona Lisa in his room. That's brilliant. Jesus. But didn't Napoleon have small legs and not small hands? Let's go flying. Shower of shout. And words to that effect. Right. Up the hill there now, Betsy. Easy mark, looking good. Upsie daisy. Right, so the weather's actually... Well, I say the weather's fairly crap, but it is fairly crap. But we'll fly on out of here. And I want to fly back in over Cairo. Then we'll hang a right. No, we'll hang a left once we get to the Nile again, right? The Nile. God, I love flyby cameras, man. They're brilliant. Actually using 100%. Greta wouldn't be happy now at this stage, you know. This is a fairly detailed airport. Right, off to the right we go. Thing wizard. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see now with all the dreadful weather, but sure, look it. We'll be alright. Let's have a look here now. So, fuel transfer. We're still. Turned it off now. So we'll go heading mode. And we'll head back in towards Cairo, right? And let's see what happens. Man, that mist is going to make the pyramids hard to see, isn't it? Alright, let's head around in this way. Man, that's a huge airport. You're not seeing that mist on live weather. Ooh, that's pretty. I think I'll go with that, lads. That's just prettier in every sense of the word, isn't it? Yeah, we'll use our own weather. We'll make up our own weather. A few clouds and whatnot. But this is all Cairo now. Like, it's absolutely massive, isn't it? It's huge, lads. So what I want to do here, we'll bring up some say intentions. Because Sarah is going to give us a dig out, right? Our tour guide, friends, our tour guide. Come along. And let us have a look. So by using StreamKit...
We're currently flying over Cairo, a city that's been continuously inhabited for more than 1,000 years. Cairo is the largest city in the Arab world in Africa, and it's famously known as the City of 1,000 Minarets because of its stunning Islamic architecture.
Ooh.
The city was officially founded in 969 AD by the Fatimid dynasty, but the area has been settled since ancient times, with roots stretching back to the time of the pharaohs. If you look out, you might spot the Nile River winding its way through the city. It's the lifeblood of Egypt and has supported civilizations here for millennia.
Now, so StreamKit is up and running, exclamation point, tour guide, and then a message, or put it into quotation marks, and she'll say a thing with a yoke with a thing, right? I love that. Pocket Sky lights up my phone then, right? It's automatic, so it's the tour guide of say intentions, and you can choose between a different number of characters, right? So, for instance, Sarah, what can you tell me about the pyramids? So her name is Sarah, but you can use me. You know, I'm fierce intelligent.
The pyramids near Cairo, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza, are some of the oldest and most iconic structures in the world, built more than 4,500 years ago as monumental tombs for the pharaohs of ancient Egypt. Captain, we have a message from Lear 86. What was the average hand 6 of Egyptians?
Hand 6. Lear, you shagged it. Give out, good to see you. Sounds like my worst date ever. Hang on a second, Gibble. We'll sort you out here now, look. Be Janie then. And there now. Up to be Janie. Intercom, our tour guide is Sarah, but, well, let's see. What can you tell me about the Sphinx in Egypt? The Sphinx. Sure, she's a grand old lady carved out of limestone over 4,500 years ago, sitting there with the body of a lion and the head of a pharaoh, probably Khafre himself. They say she guards the Giza plateau. And let me tell you, she's seen more sandstorms than a sheepdog in a dustbin. What can you tell me about Napoleon in Egypt? Napoleon in Egypt, is it? Well, in 1798, the wee Frenchman himself led an expedition here, hoping to cut off Britain's trade routes and maybe nab a bit of glory for himself. He brought along a whole gaggle of scientists and scholars, and sure, they ended up discovering the Rosetta Stone, which helped us finally crack the code of ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. But the locals weren't too keen on the French, and after a few scraps and a bit of sunburn, Napoleon legged it back to France, leaving his lads behind. Jesus! He sounds just like me, doesn't he? We don't need me anymore. Not at all. Just ask Murph. He knows everything, the devil. Look at the state of this view. This is gorgeous. Murph, what can you tell me about the Rosetta Stone? Oh, this is gorgeous, lads. Look at this. The Rosetta Stone. Sure, it's the grand slab of granodiorite that helped us finally unlock the secrets of Egyptian hieroglyphs. Discovered in 1799 by a French soldier near the town of Rosetta. It has the same text in Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphic script. Now. Captain, we have a message from Lear 86. Where is the start of the Nile? Don't put it in inverted commas. If you want to ask the tour guide, don't put it into quotations. Just put in exclamation tour guide and then whatever you want to say.
Captain, we have a message from Sunjammer 74. Who has the smaller hands, Murph or Napoleon?
Jesus. Tough crowd tonight, I tell you. Right, head down the Nile.
Sure, there are snakes in Egypt, but from up here, we've nothing to worry about. Most of them are harmless. But keep an eye out for the Egyptian cobra if you're wandering about on the ground.
The Egyptian cobra? Talking to myself again, to Blaze. I know some stuff, though.
The Nile, the grand old river herself. She starts way down south with her two main sources. The White Nile begins at Lake Victoria in East Africa, and the Blue Nile starts at Lake Tana in Ethiopia. They meet up in Sudan, then flow north all the way through Egypt to the Mediterranean.
Murph, I'm looking at the pyramids right now. What can you tell me about them? That's savage looking.
The pyramids. Sure, they're the pride of Egypt. Built over 4,500 years ago by the ancient pharaohs as tombs for themselves. Talk about a bit of ego, eh? The Great Pyramid of Giza is the biggest, built for Pharaoh Khufu. And it's the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world still standing. Each block weighs as much as a small car, and there's over 2 million of them. Imagine the backache from that job. And here's a bit for you. Some folks say the workers were paid in beer, so maybe that's why the blocks aren't stacked any higher.
Large pile of rocks. Yeah. They were paid with pints of Guinness, it's been said, you know.
Now there's a question that'll warm the cockles of me heart. The Irish gave the world the submarine, the modern tractor, and even colour photography. Sure, we'd invent a good excuse for a pint if we could.
Brilliant. Oh, Jesus, look at the LOD on the Sphinx.
Captain, we have a message from Super Typhon 173. Sure, look at me, fly in me, diamond listening to a great bunch of lads acting J Muppet.
Colin Matter, good to see you. Have you recently used Say Intentions Traffic? It is getting way better, yeah, it is. 100% Colin Matter. They weren't tombs. I'll fight anyone that disagrees. Brilliant. Brilliant. So where we're headed...
The Egyptian cobra can reach a length of about 1.4 to 2.4 metres, 4.6 to 7.9 feet, and its girth is typically around 10 to 15 centimetres, 4 to 6 inches, at its thickest point.
It's amazing how I know all this, isn't it? I mean, you know, I'm impressed. How'd you know all that, bro? Listen,
Sure, wouldn't that be a tale for the ages? But no, the Egyptian pyramids weren't built by the Irish on a weekend away. Though if anyone could stack a few million stones after a pint or two, it'd be us. The pyramids were built by the ancient Egyptians, thousands of years ago, long before the Irish had even figured out how to make a decent cup of tea.
Listen, I don't agree with that, you know. But anyway, we continue on. You're doing a great job there, Murph. Fair play to you. You know, if I only knew half of the stuff that you knew, do you know? It must have taken the better part of an afternoon. You know, I did that a good while ago. They have my voice in an engine. It's very, very good. Right, we'll come back to that later. We'll calm that one down. Because what we're doing here now, we're heading down the Nile, down to a place, Al-Wasita, I think it's called. But there is, I mean, if you look out the right-hand side, you'll see there's other pyramids here, right? I mean, there's far more than just the pyramids of Giza. There are more down here as well. So we're going to head down to the one down the road. And then we'll come back up the way. Do you know? Gavin Coulter, thank you indeed for the follow. Welcome in. I'll get them going after the morning after, right? 100%. I understand in Egypt that many people are in denial. Very good, NM Flyer. They match up with the stars, Murph. Do they? Mr. Tommy, actually, hang on. Here's a science experiment. Try that again, Mr. Tommy. Mr. Tommy, put that in there again, right? Let's see if you can understand it. Ich bin Schnappi den kleinen Krudelkom aus Egyptian des Lied direkt am Nil. Or words to that effect. Und yes.
Captain, we have a message from our Tommy Mixer. Ich bin Schnappi, das kleine Krokodilkom aus Ägypten. Das liegt direkt am Nil.
That was brilliant! What's he saying? Did you hear my flawless German?
Captain, we have a message from our Tommy Mixer. Ich bin Schnappi, das kleine Krokodilkom aus Ägypten. Das liegt direkt am Nil.
Brilliant! Me and me flawless German. That's fantastic. By the way, if I've offended anyone now, right, I mean, I don't know what I said, but it sounded convincing, you know, yes, sounded terribly nice. Brilliant. Fantastic. So the Bend Pyramid was the Irish trial run. What are you talking about? Some of the pyramids are built in certain directions to the sun, or so the sun could light them up for days, 2 days a year, every 6 months. Really? I'm Schnappi the small crocodile. I come from Egypt. It lies just at the Nile. I think that's what it means. Ah, right. See, all those years of German in school has paid off. It has. Yeah. Obviously relation of Murph. They were crap at DIY as well. Listen. I'm fluent in JavaScript and Klingon. Now, moving on. This is all terribly nice, isn't it? We need to make a bit of a right turn, though. Course correction. Yes. 180 degrees. The last woolly mammoths were alive and the pyramids were being built. Wait now, wasn't there... I'm trying to think, right? Wasn't there a woolly mammoth found in like... what's her name? Catherine's day of Russia? No? Not bad for being Swedish and Finnish and stuff. Thing Wizard, well done. Yeah, there was a mammoth found during Catherine's reign. Was she Catherine the Great? Yeah, I think she was. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Woolly mammoths, of course, native to Leitrim. Yeah, yeah. Nah, she was just an average, right. Here's the song for later. DM me, Tommy. This is very pretty. How are we all getting on back here, lads? Oh, jeez. Look at that. Look at the backdrop, man. What a gorgeous place to go flying, isn't it? It's incredible, this, isn't it? Commander Boller says, Murph, I posted a link at the Bremen Bar where you can hear Schnappy Das Klein Krokodil. Ah, brilliant.
Ich bin Schnappi, das kleine Krokodil. Komm aus Ägypten, das liegt direkt am Nil. Zuerst lag ich in einem Ei, dann schnappte ich mich frei. Schnappi, 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 schnapp. Schnappi, 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 schnapp. Schnappi, das kleine Krokodil. Hab scharfe Zähne und davon wird schon viel. Ich schnapp mir, was ich schnappen kann. Ja, schnapp zu, weil ich das so gut kann. Schnappi, 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 schnapp. Schnappi, 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 schnapp.
Like, do you not have, like, Captain Planet or, you know, Transformers or even, I don't know, you know, Prince Valiant? What did you grow up on? That's odd and strange in many ways. Shit, it's terrible. Cucumber Bud, I mean, you don't. Happy Schnapp, like, what is this?
Can I get a refund?
No, there's no refunds. Very strange. It's almost 20 years old. Is that all? Ah, Jesus. I mean, you know, TV shows have gotten better through the years. Sorta. Just very strange. We grew up on Schnappy and stories about our children. Huh? Filthy, good to see you, buddy. Any chance I can give you a rundown of what I've missed? Yeah. That's very strange. You know. I mean, yeah. Would you not have had something like, you know, Bert and Ernie or something? I'm just saying, like, you know, or even, you know, Magic Roundabout. That's more like it. Do you know, Keane Lafford can do a very good Kermit the Frog. You got me bouncing like I did when I watched this, right? Brilliant. What do you mean I'm a dead ringer for Gonzo? Shag off! Isn't it mad though? Like when you see it, it's really interesting to see that Schnappy from the German side. It's kind of cool when you look at like different kind of TV shows from around the world, right? Especially kids' TV shows, because they're all kind of doing the same thing, right? I mean, you're trying to, encourage imagination and whatnot. Yeah, so that was class. Thank you for sharing that. It was an experience, I'll see your Schnappy the crocodile and I'll raise you SpongeBob. Flop like a fish. Right, we're going this way. Oh, come here, do you know you should have been watching? It was Alf. I mean, this is what y'all should have been watching. Catch him, Jerry! Catch him, Jerry! Brilliant, Clappy. Catch him, Jerry, quick! Stick your eyes, good to see you. In Canada, I grew up at Sesame Street, The Muppets, Alf, Fraggle Rock, Friendly Giant, and Looney Tunes. Holy Egypt, Batman. Catch him, dearie. Catch him. Ellipsa. Brilliant. Catwoman in the original Batman TV series, well, was something. Biff Pow socks. Yeah. Ah, brilliant. Didn't Batman do a show in Egypt? He did! Holy excabology, Batman. Introduced the offspring to Fraggle Rock last week. They enjoyed it. Oh, really? That's fantastic news. Right, I saw... There it is. Out over this way, we shall fly. And try to identify this strange object on the land, on the horizon. This is very class, I have to say, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Some tunage, maestro. Yes. As we fly to the place with the thing, with the yoke. Ooh. Night Fury is sitting with the man on top of the plane. Best view in the house. Ivor the engine. Who? Batman and King Tut's Coup, Season 2, Episode 53. It aired in 1967. Get out of town. Are you serious? Hang on, we get a closer look at this thing here now, lads. Look. Oh, yeah. Well, jeez, what's your speed? This is only savage looking. Ben and Ben, the flower pot men. Flying dreads. Wait, how do I know that? Batman and Robin Murphy. Yes, Heisenberg. It was me all along. Ah, brilliant. Look at the state of this, lads. This is absolutely friggin' cool looking.
500.
Brilliant. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Savage, isn't it? it's chase plane is brilliant. Right, let us head up now towards where are we heading? Back towards Cairo, lads. Right, let's have a look. So heading mode, autopilot engage. We're saying 3000. Let's keep her down at 2. So we're on heading mode. We can go ahead and arm GPS, and we'll pick up this magenta line once again. They filmed Batman and Robin scene from Only Fools and Horses just down the road. What, really? I've always wanted to travel there to see them, but here it's a tourist nightmare at times. Yeah, I've heard that. So you know, I think the pyramids, at the top of the pyramids, my understanding was they used marble or gold, but my understanding was marble. A lot of the pyramids had marble on top. Some places don't like tourists anymore. Agreed. But like, do you know what's fascinating? Like, I mean, if you were, you know, consider Mesopotamia, Uruk or Ur. Uruk is close to I think it's Baghdad, and some of the archaeological finds there are some of the oldest in terms of civilization. Now, not human history, but certainly civilization. Some 6,000 years ago, which is like, what? Right? Just incredible stuff. So yeah, man, it's very fascinating. Like, I love, look, you know me, lads, I love history. I absolutely love learning different things, and I love learning the cultural side of history as well. And even, like, you know, we can take the mick out of the Schnappy the crocodile, but that stuff fascinates me. Do you know, when you see, oh, that's what they did. Because it's amazing how similar everything is. Now, the Egyptians, they were out there, man. You know, you consider everything else in the world that we knew of at the time. The Egyptians did their own thing. And yet, you know, you can travel Aztec neck of the woods and you see what they have in Mexico from, you know, the Chichen Itza, right? Or Chichen Itza. At least Schnappy isn't AI. That's a... Do you know what, Super Ty? I think this current generation we're hopefully safe, but I'd say the next generation, you're absolutely right. You know? Yeah, the Mayans and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Weren't the pyramids where the aliens landed their ships in Stargate? Yeah. I think they were. It's the whole thing is fascinating though, like, and it kind of grounds us very much, like, when we think about, you know, local history or whatnot, it's the belief systems back then. You know, when you look back at, you know, originally people worshipped the ground, right? We worshipped the ground, and then we worshipped the sun, and then we worshipped the stars, and that's kind of the same evolution, if you like, of belief systems, whereby there was monuments built to, you know, to the sun. And then there was monuments built then towards the stars. And prior to that, it was monuments for the ground. Then the pub, of course, absolutely. Cucumber Bush says, I bought a children's picture book for my niece the other day and already saw some AI-generated books. Yeah. It's where it is. Walk like an Egyptian, Kieran Nile, absolutely. I tend to lean towards the theory that there were older civilizations than we generally believe. Yeah, like in terms of civilization, you know, history points us towards the Sumerians, I think, Gilgamesh and all this sort of stuff. At the, you know, the Ballad of Gilgamesh. Have you ever looked into that? And how we know about that is when they scribed or when they wrote down the information, they had them on these tablets, clay tablets, and they were in a fire. They burnt, but by doing so, it made these soft clay into bricks, and that's why we can still read and understand these scribes that they made. And we also understand that they had a currency system, they had a payment system long before money, right? They would compensate builders, workers with ration. Food, grain, usually grain, and they were put in these small little bowls. I forget the name that they called them. A B, I think it's called, right? A bevel round bowl or a bevel something bowl. A B. I'm almost certain that's the name of these bowls. That's some 6,000 years ago, right? I think they're called a B. Bevel shape, B bowl, beveled rim bowl, right? Here's one here. This is Uruk, right? So the Uruk period, 3000 BC, right? That's 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, and there's literally hundreds of these at the site in Uruk, which is modern day Baghdad. Like, these were given out to workers. These are the rations. This is the first time humanity, rather than having wandering nomadics and all this sort of stuff, like farmers would move territory, this is the first time they kind of stopped and said, right, let's stay here. Let's farm here. Let's bring in water to here. Let's build here and keep people together. Do you know? So Uruk, right? This is fascinating. So the Uruk period, 4,000 BC. Like it's 6,000 years ago, right? And I'm trying to think, was it Gilgamesh who was here? I think it was Gilgamesh. Sumerian. The Epic of Gilgamesh, that's fascinating. Sumerian city-state of Uruk. Yeah, he was possibly a historical king of the Sumerian city-state of Uruk, and then he was, you know, deified after that. His rule probably taking place sometime between the early dynastic period around 3000 BC. And then the epic ballad of Gilgamesh. And on this tablet, the story of the flood, known as the Flood Tablet. Like, it's this is old stuff. And the you know, Mesopotamia back then, I mean, if we're talking about Uruk today sits, I think it's Baghdad or near Baghdad. Like, look at the drawings and stuff that they have here, look. Like, this is ancient writings, do you know? So you're talking about 4000 BC. Ancient Egypt, I suppose. So ancient Egypt. Like, it goes back, that's like 3000 BC. Early dynastic and then unification of the Upper and Lower Egypt around 3000 BC. Like, considering that, and then when you look at the likes of, say, Uruk and the Sumerians. But isn't it fascinating, lads? Like, it really is. It's so very interesting, all about Egypt and the history and pharaohs. That's Ramses, is it? It's mind blowing. It is mind blowing, and where you see the drawings, and the art and architecture, like even the designs, even here, if you were to look on the neck here, this neck piece, go back to the Sumerians. Who were, you know, back then, they were on the other side of the world nearly, right? They were miles away. There's a lot of similarities to them. But it really is fascinating stuff. It's fascinating stuff. That's the Rosetta Stone there again, look. Sabu, First Dynasty. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Hieroglyphs on Stela in the Louvre. Look at that, man. It's just absolutely mad. Hunting games. Bloody hell. And like, whatever was going on over this neck of the woods, then there's, you know, the Asian side with China and like, just fascinating things. Roman period, and then Ptolemy, so the Greek period. So Ptolemy, Alexander the Great, conquered Egypt with little resistance from the Persians, was welcomed by the Egyptians as a deliverer. The administration established by Alexander, the Macedonian Ptolemaic kingdom, based on an Egyptian model, and based the new capital city in Alexandria. And like ancient Alexandria, I mean, you had the famous lighthouse of Alexandria. Of course, we visited that on the ancient wonders of the world, right? MDA is here. Good to see you, man. Happy Christmas, buddy. 3 whole years at tier 3. Ah, Jesus. Thank you very, very much indeed. Hope you're well, buddy. Hope you're well. Ptolemy the 6th, but like Ptolemy the 5th, we believe did the Ptolemies. Look, the Ptolemaic dynasty, also known as the Laga dynasty, was a Macedonian Greek royal house which ruled the Ptolemaic kingdom in ancient Egypt during the Hellenistic period, reigning for 275 years. It was the longest and last dynasty of ancient Egypt. From 305 BC until its incorporation of the Roman Republic in 30 BC. And who organised and arranged that, lads? You're on for 3 weeks now? Nice! Dan, good to see you, buddy. Love this Smurf. Shame I can't fly with you guys. Don't finish work till Wednesday. Ah, Jesus. Don't worry, Dan. We'll still be here, buddy. Meanwhile, there were settlements in Scotland around 3000 BC. Yeah, Malky, it's mad. And like same in Ireland and England, of course. I mean, you've Stonehenge, we've Newgrange. Newgrange predates the pyramids, I think. Newgrange? What's Newgrange? Like 3600, is it? 3100. So it's said that Newgrange predates the pyramids, right? It's just unbelievable. And when you think then, you know, from Ptolemy up until they get to Egypt being a vassal of Rome, and then, you know, officially brought into the Roman Empire, or at the time technically the Roman Republic, that was all through Julius Caesar, which was, when you think about it, it was mad. And Augustus then, of course, as well, right? Crazy stuff. In America, we have buildings over 50 years old. Yeah. It's crazy. Looking back on them, the belief systems are mental. You know, they really are. Thousands of years, they'll be looking back. And then Flyer, brilliant. Two dogs, take it fierce handy, buddy. Who knew the Irish can outlive the Egyptians, right? Sure, by this time in history, we'd done all that in Ireland, yeah. Right, so I want to I want to learn about this place.
Jesus.
6th October, Cairo. 6th of October is a city in Giza. It's a satellite city located adjacent to Giza. The city served as the capital and now defunct 6th of October governorate, which was dissolved in 2011. Established as a new city in the desert, it hosts many local and international students. The settlement was established in 1979 by the 504th presidential decree of Egyptian President Anwar Sadat. It was announced as the capital of the 6th of October governorate in April 2008. The city is named after the date of commencement of Operation Badr, which is the 6th of October 1973, which began the October War. The same date was chosen as Egypt's Armed Forces Day. That's mad, lads, isn't it? Have you done Irish history before? Briller, no, I'm working on an Irish series. Buffaloes live here, really? Right, autopilot off. Let's, we'll circle around here to the right to see what we can see. Interesting. It's a great name for a city after a war date, isn't it? Welcome to 6th of October. Can finish the whole series in a couple of hours. Yeah. The Irish one, yeah. But see, the Irish one is interesting. Like, I could go back I suppose I could go back a fair bit, but it's more just like I want to cover just kind of different sections of Irish history, you know. There's a bit. There's life in the island before the Vikings, the Viking invasions, life after the Vikings, right? There's quite a bit on this little island of ours. Maybe a pub crawl. Oh yeah. God, this is gorgeous, man. Look at the lighting. Look at the ground even. Jesus. There's a Musée fan. Life with the Vikings, yeah. Keeping up with the Vikings. Easy now. There's Pilot 25 DMC. Squawker's over there. We see Wonky Button. Cataface. Corsair Flyer 10. We got a lot of folks here. It's our second last stop of the night. We got one more to do. Ting Wizard says, this digital twin keeps amazing me. Dude, it's awesome. If you're a priest, you'd be trying to outrun the Vikings, right? Ireland was unique in a lot of ways for the Vikings, because it was one of the first times the Vikings assimilated.
500 sink rate.
Shink rate. Right, try a now forward slip here, Murph.
Pull up. Pull up.
There we go. Oh, that's not stable at all. We'll fix it. Long landing. It's going to be a very long landing, but we'll be alright, lads. Just lie back and think of Ireland. It'll be grand. Easy now.
Dreamy, sleepy,
Oh,
nuggy,
Jesus.
snoozy, snooze.
Stu! "54 feet a minute. Jesus, Stu, you won't be doing that more often." Ah, no, the wind. Easy. Right. Stable approach. Yes, yes. Textbook, Mr. Tommy. Textbook. Right. Yaki Boo and Betsy, get out of here quick. Yeah, so we took the... Yeah, we did. We literally took the Vikings out for the pints. Literally. They stayed. They liked it. What's the difference between a side slip and a forward slip? They're pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. If you wanted to dive into technicalities, but like they're effectively the same thing. Wasn't Time Team in Ireland a few times? Briller, yeah, they have. Not so much on the Roman side, but definitely here for the Viking stuff. They did a dig in Kilkenny, I think, and they did a dig in... Was it Tremolan Castle, I think? They did a good assimilation in Shetland, Orkney and Northern Scotland. Yeah. Malky, yeah. So, pockets of Northern Scotland, in particular the islands, they didn't wander too much into the mainland because, well, there was usually an army waiting for them, do you know? Because, you know, Scotland was a lot more defined, if you like, in comparison to Ireland, which was made up of many different territories, little kingdoms and all this sort of crack. Scotland had a much larger presence. AC Valhalla. Nice. Viking from Denmark. There you go. Zybox, he's a Viking. Chester here in the north of England, drenched in Roman history. Yeah. The Romans did a lot of stuff there, yeah. Never mind the Vikings, we have history of Cranogs here in Sligo. Yeah. Oh yeah, they were miles before the Vikings. They were like 600-700 AD. Before even. No, it's class, like, you know, in your local town or village or near your city, especially in Europe, unbelievable history, right? And it's not to diminish that of history over in the United States or in Canada. There's tons of stuff there as well, tons. And it's how far back you want to go. And the gas thing is, I mean, it's kind of funny, right? I mean, I know we have dinosaur remains and whatever in Europe, but, like, you know, some people would tease America, oh, what sort of history you have? And then the Americans just showed them, like, you know, bones of a dinosaur. Hold my beer. All right. You know what I mean? But certainly civilization, as we know it, it started off in Mesopotamia. That was like around the Euphrates, and it pushed west. It moved west, right? Middle East, Egypt, into Europe, Greece, of course, the Romans, on up through Germany, France, into Britain, and then across. That is the West. Western civilization kind of pushed on from that. You know what I mean? And yet, it all started in, like, the Middle East. That's what you have. Right, are we ready for Fly Edge? We're going to go up now and tour the pyramids before our final stop of the night at Sphinx Airport. Let's go flying. Easy now. Airspace alive. 50 knots. Yep, see Daisy. Yeah, the model watching isn't great tonight, lads, so, but look, the main thing is, we can see you, right? We know you're flying there, so that's awesome. Alright. Over this way, lads. Altitude for this, 1500 will do us.
Don't shake. Don't shake.
You're alright. Heading. Autopilot. There we go. The Guinness is on him, very shaky. The Incas also seem to have previous period with much longer stone precision. Oh, the Incas? Yeah, very interesting. Keelanfer says, there's so much history in this little town that I live in, from one of the best preserved castles in the country to Oliver Cromwell, and rumours of hidden tunnels under the town connecting the castle, hotel and library. Mad stuff, Keen. Mad stuff. Kerr Castle is fascinating, and like, it all ties back. A lot of Tipperary ties back, of course, is the Rock of Cashel, right? But up the road then in Laois, where you have the Rock of Dunamaze, all of these are all intertwined. And depending on, of course, on the families and whatnot who were involved. I'm using that new Pyrie traffic for Europe as well. It's actually pretty good, lads. But we'll see how we get on. Now see that view there? See the pyramid in the distance? It's just funny that the sunlight is actually catching the very top of it. But originally, I mean, back in the day, the tops of the pyramids were actually bright at, like, to reflect the sun, right? The very tops of them. Because I think they were saying the tops of them had a different material than everything else. So that was quite awesome that we're actually seeing that in the sim. That's mad, like. That's incredible, man. So we're going to head over to the complex. Civilizations cannot exist without surplus agriculture. So as humans develop better agricultural methods, civilizations appeared in many fertile areas. Very true, yeah. Murph, are you seeing issues with flow with regards to name tags being much higher in the sky? Heisenberg, I'm not using the name tags from Flow, I'm just using the default ones. Mr. Chippy, they were solid gold capstones. I'm unsure. I've looked into either solid gold or I think the pyramids were marble with solid gold, right? That's my understanding. Or some of them had like a white gold or some other metal to reflect up on the top. Must have been an amazing sight. Oh yeah. So here's the thing, lads. Jeppesen created scenery for us before that completely restores these. Haven't you seen it? Check it out, right? When we did our Ancient Wonders, Jeppesen went off and he restored the pyramids. I kid you not. This scenery, I think it's 2024. It is. I'm almost certain this is 24. In this, he managed to completely rebuild the scenery. Not only did he do that, lads, with the main pyramid, Jeppesen also created the interior of the pyramid. The different chasm going up, the little tunnel. Jeff did all of that. This is a freeware scenery add-on. And it was from our 7 Wonders of the Ancient World, in which, if you can remember them, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, Babylon, of course, the Hanging Gardens, right? The Colossus of Rhodes, and so on. And this is all a series that we did. It was in 2020, but it was a 2020 series, but I think, I'm almost certain the scenery works in 24. And maybe you give it a bash. But the pyramids, he completely rebuilt. As they were. White marble, gold top, and he did the interior. How mad is that? And they're available for free over on twotonemurphy.com. Jeppesen is an absolute machine. I think it's only for 2020, but it should work on 24. Ramble over to the website. It's free to download. Try it out. Load back into it. You just pop it into your community folder. Come back to Egypt, into Cairo. You'll see it changed. And if you use your drone camera, you can go inside the pyramid. You can go inside the pyramid. It's freaking nuts, man. I think I have a clip of it here. Yeah, I do. Look, wait to see it. Wait till you see this, lads. Check this out, right? The pyramids as they were, lads. As they were back in the day. Look. Stu says, bit of a lurker before, but that's the series I started watching. Yeah. Like, it's mad, like, mad. So if I zoom ahead, you'll see what we're looking at here. Look. Like, even the Sphinx, completely restored, right? Isn't that incredible, lads? And then the pyramids. Like, absolutely incredible stuff. Incredible stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was in 20... Well, it was flights in 2020, yeah. But that's not all, right? Check this. Like, this is nuts. He did the interior of the pyramid. Look, this is the interior. Like, is that not just savage? And that was all from Jeff in 2001. Jeff created all of this scenery for us for that series. Isn't it absolutely mad, lads, isn't it? So that scenery is there. You can download it. It's just class, like, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. Right, here we are at the pyramids as they look to this day, friends. Check it out, man. Here. Good to see you, buddy. Happy Christmas, mate. Isn't that amazing? Like, it's absolutely amazing looking, this is. Depp has done such incredible work, though, hasn't he? Like, just incredible stuff. Absolutely stunning, man.
I'm the pull the big switch, good buddy.
Oh, Kip on the ground, welcome in. Welcome in, Raiders. Very happy Monday to you. We're here exploring the pyramids, part of our Napoleon series. And
allow myself to introduce myself.
What a sight we have. Hope you had an awesome stream. You're very welcome in, lads. Riot Control, thank you very, very much indeed, my friend. Many happy returns. Savage, isn't it? It's just absolutely mad, isn't it? It's absolutely gorgeous, is what it is. Erlock Doc, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. So our Napoleon series, this part, Napoleon obviously goes to Egypt, and what he does here, I mean, the Rosetta Stone, which we covered obviously tonight, in some detail, how it was found, and then of course, you know, he rambles on towards Syria, legs it back towards France, and technically deserting his troops, right? Anyone else would have been classed as desertion, but not for Napoleon. Now, something else happened, just before we wrap up here, something else happened to Napoleon. Let us not forget Josephine, right? Good old Josephine. Well, Napoleon was sending letters to and from and all the jazz, and, well, the British intercepted a number of letters from a French ship that they captured and they took, and in it was a whole load of letters from Napoleon, his love life and all the jazz, and this was published in the British newspapers, and it pretty much made a complete and utter clown out of Napoleon. You know, I mean, there's no such thing as bad publicity, but back then, Jesus, he wasn't impressed, you know. So, yeah, you're off to the new year. Airlock, enjoy, buddy. Happy Christmas to you and yours. Incredible stuff, right? Incredible stuff. Jack, thank you very much indeed. 9 months, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. Gotta love the British humour. Yeah, it's brilliant, right? Absolutely brilliant.
Hello there.
Viman, thank you very much indeed. Welcome in. Right, so we're going to head up now to our final stop at the Sphinx International Airport. It's up here on the right-hand side. And of course, yes, it was rumoured that, you know, Napoleon ordered that the nose of the Sphinx be shot off. But that's untrue. The nose of the Sphinx was long gone before Napoleon got there. Some say earthquake, some say, you know, damage during other battles. I don't think it's ever been fully proven. Man, isn't this so class that this, like, it's in our sim. You can just go, let's go to the pyramids. Because it's mad, isn't it? He made a fool out of Napoleon and he made a fool out of Mem. He absolutely did. But, yeah, man, awesome. So thank you so very much indeed for the raid. Hope you had an awesome stream, dude. And, yeah, pretty handy for tourists to build it right next to a helipad and the roads. Very thoughtful, yes. Egypt, of course, invented by the Irish back in 1912. And, you know, it was doing some good bit of work, some of our finest work, you know, some would say. But, yeah, it's very interesting. As I say, like, I'm into history, like it or hate it, it's class, like, it is class, do you know? Ancient history in particular, because it's like, to make fuel low, sure, we'll transfer another few litres in. Get the fuel pumps on here as well while we're doing that. Mr. Tommy, do you need the fuel pumps on when you transfer fuel, or does the fuel transfer pump do its own thing? Here's a question. The Sphinx has strange proportions. There are theories that it's an animal's head, but some king wanted their face in it. I don't know. It makes geometrical sense. Negative. So you don't need the main fuel pumps on. So the fuel transfer switch engages its own pump. Would that be right? Did the Irish also invent chai talking? Yes, they did, Eamon, all the time. I only have them on during climb and descent. Nice. Right, well, our final stop is over here somewhere. Oh, sure, there's the lads. Up, you dividend. So what we have tomorrow, lads, we have a daytime stream tomorrow at 11 o'clock Zulu over in X-Plane with the King Air 350. That got an update from Airfoil Labs I want to check out. And then tomorrow night, part 1 of a New Zealand trip. I'm away to New Zealand next March. And I want to kind of fly the route to get an idea of where I'm going. So we're going to do the first part on Tuesday night, and then our next stream is Friday night, Stevens' Day, Boxing Day, at 8 o'clock Zulu PM and 2000 Zulu, and that's going to be the second leg. So it's a good tour of the South Island of New Zealand, right? So we'll be here tomorrow night for that. So hope you can join me for our group flight. I'm taking the AccuSim Aerostar as a lovely tourer. I remember years ago when the Comanche first came out in FSX, I had Orbex New Zealand, and yeah, there'll be loads of Lord of the Rings music and information from MuseFan. Adam controls, you better believe it. And one does not just simply enter New Zealand. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to it. So that's our last stream before Christmas is tomorrow night. With a group flight, and then we're back then on Friday, and you'll be most welcome as we do a group flight. But yeah, the Comanche back in FSX with Orbex New Zealand, that was the first time I properly flew like a cross-country flight in a flight sim back in FSX. Always before that was just like point A, point B, bit of messing. This is a proper cross-country. I started off in Christchurch, went all the way down Invercargill, all the way up to I did the North Island as well, and then back to Christchurch. It took me days, you know. And Vegemite sandwiches or Marmite. To be more specific, 2 ECUs each have their own pump. Ah, okay. Shouldn't you fly the flight to New Zealand in 2024 before the real thing? Airliners, like... So, the flights I'm doing, it's Dublin, San Francisco, Auckland, Auckland, Invercargill. And then on the way home, it's Christchurch, Auckland, LAX, Dublin. So that's the real world route, do you know? But yeah, man, it's I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, Jesus.
Is there an airport out here? It's not looking terribly good, is it? Oh, there is. Step by step, not in one go. Are you mad? Casual Friday evening stream, yeah. The earth's flat, you know. Yeah, so tomorrow night we'll be firing up the AccuSim Aerostar. That is our chariot for this tour. And we're going to leave Invercargill. We're going to head up to Tianu, Milford Sound, Christchurch, or Queenstown, up as far as Wanaka. That's the first route. And then the second flight, which will be on Friday night, starts in Wanaka. We head up by Franz Joseph. We go up to Hokitika, Greymouth, and then across to Christchurch. It's going to be gorgeous scenery. And as I said, I'm going there in March, the end of March. So I'm very much looking forward to checking it out. Brother says, is X-Plane 12 any good? Yeah, it's good, mate. It's very good. He was on for 7 hours yesterday. He's a day-long streamer now. Yup, you devil, you. We'll see how we get on. But definitely tomorrow, in the morning, it's X-Plane. Have you been banned from flying on Christmas Day like us? FMJ? No, I mean, this year, this is the first time in 20 years I'm not working over Christmas. And that's mad, isn't it? Right? Because this is the full-time gig now. So my plan is technically no work Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. You know... So it's going to be different. It's going to be very different. There's a runway. So I said we'll do a fair whack of streaming tomorrow in 2 sections, and then on Friday night, which is Stevens' day, we'll do a bit more. Ozflight Simmer, good to see you, Shane. Welcome in, buddy. Fozzilla, thank you very much indeed for 41 months. Cheers, man. So, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's tomorrow morning, as I say, 11 o'clock Zulu. That's some X-Plane. And then 2000 Zulu tomorrow night. That's Microsoft Flight Sim. And we're off to New Zealand. In X-Plane, I'm probably going to fly in Ireland tomorrow. So, yeah. But our Christmas here is relatively quiet, right? I mean, my brother's coming up, my dad will be here, obviously the missus and my son. That'll be Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, and then my dad and my brother, they head up to my sister's for dinner. We have our own dinner here, you know? So it'll be a quiet Christmas day. Do you know? Oh, behave. Ozflight Simmer, thank you very much, man. Jesus, he's pressing buttons on the screen and we're not looking at. Jesus, hang on, don't panic, he did the thing and I need to see what he did. 47 months, Oz. Shane, thank you very much indeed, buddy. Cheers, man. Right, oh Jesus, look, I'm after... Shh, say nothing.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy,
Jesus!
snooze.
Out of controls! Easy now. Hold. Oh, yeah. 200 feet a minute, we'll take it. We'll take it. All right. Me back, yeah. But I gotta say, lads, I mean, from all the releases we've seen and a great holiday season to be flight simming. So much to do now, so many cool things with Flow, with Chase Plane, the updates from Any Bills. Brilliant, right? Brilliant. So tomorrow it'll be a little bit different. As I said, we'll be looking at X-Plane in the morning, and then we're back to Microsoft Flight Sim that night. Very much looking forward to flying the Aerostar. I haven't flown that in a while, and it's received a number of updates since we last flew it, you know? Easy now. Right. On the brakes. That's the electronic master, so to kill this, we just do this, isn't it? Yes. Excellente. What a great plane. Great work from Cows on this plane, man. It's so good. So good. That was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Shout out to Mr. Tommy here in the chat. Just incredible, incredible stuff as always, Mr. Tommy. Thank you very, very much indeed. Right, lads, that's the story. That'll do us for that'll... Huh? You've broken the internet, Murph. Oh, Jesus. Right. Let's not press buttons again. Thank you all so very much indeed for tuning in tonight. We'll be here tomorrow, as I said, 2 streams tomorrow. So, yeah, hope I can catch you all then. And in the meantime, you'll catch us over on Discord. Want to welcome all the new folks who joined us here tonight. Massive thanks to Kip and to Chewy for the raids. Really appreciate it, lads. And for everyone who joined us here, it was an absolute, it was a gorgeous flight. Awesome flying in Egypt. So, right, we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock Zulu, right? Where is this now? Hang on. Why isn't this working? Ah, yes. Right, there it is. Right, that's it now. Good luck to you. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 Zulu. And until then, you take care. Do you know, I found a limitation of chase plane. Jesus. It's shagged. Oh, I can't use the buttons. The buttons are shagged. Hang on, I'm getting the hang of it. Ah, brilliant! Ah, stupid thing! Ah, brilliant. Stupid thing, why is it doing it? Jays, stop looking at me playing. Now me focus is gone. The cataracts and everything. Ah, Jesus. Ah, no, I've much to learn. I don't know why it's doing that. News fan, it's doing that thing with the camera gimbal that you used to do. You know, a good kick in the left one now will sort it. Where you can enjoy complimentary deluxe continental breakfast daily with afternoon hors d'oeuvres and a fully stocked honor bar. Good up there. Complimentary hot and cold beverages throughout the day. Fairmount Gold combines personalised...
I'm sorry, did you just say orgy food?
hors d'oeuvres. Hors d'oeuvres. Oh no, I made a terrible mistake. But the mod control, from a viewer perspective, it makes the whole thing quite negative, doesn't it? When you delete, you're sitting there and you're thinking, Jesus, this is painful to watch. This is like watching the end of Glen Rowe or... We're doing a thing, right? We're almost... We're Sonic. Well, we're only at 400. Nuts. That was the most cinematic anticlimax ever. Yeah, but hang on, give it time. We're doing it. Ah, you're gonna miss the ground, you big ape. Hang on. Bank angle. Just put it in the ground, Murph. Stop showing off. Because it does have crash physics. Watch. This'll surely blow up. All is well in the realm